This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by Goldberg and Jones.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike
Heward, not exactly Joe Cat there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, let's go. Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, Seattle Sports app, all the podcast platforms, 97.3 HD2, and YouTube. Yes, if you'd like to watch the show, we are on YouTube and going to feature our friend Brian Walters the next couple of days. Former Seahawk and wide receiver, of course, and now part of the Seahawks pre- and post-game show and a good friend of the show. We love talking to Brian and having him in, so he's going to help me out over the next couple of days. I think we're going to get Greg Bishop in on Thursday, so that should be pretty fun. As we do a little week without Brock here. No biggie. Lots of good stuff to discuss. I guess I just start today by saying, look, if today's show is bad, it's on me. Like, Maura did her job. Let me just start there. Maura did her job. She spent yesterday locked in a room just cutting sound for hours and hours.
I may have overdone my job. Sorry.
She did.
It overwhelmed you this morning.
I didn't want to say it, but Maura did her job so well. She overdid it. Thank you. I can't even pick through all the sound of all these guys that the Seahawks got, but I got a couple things that I want to make sure I play for you guys today.
I saw that Saluki in West Seattle yesterday, and I guess I was just like,
your buddy,
Soundhound.
Yeah,
gotta get after it.
Well, she got after it, like the hardcore, and a lot of it's really worth playing. I guess I would say this about the weekend: when you first hear the Seahawks picks over the weekend, I wouldn't be that surprised if most people weren't that excited. At least if you were like regularly listening to this show. They didn't take a lot of the players that we had talked about. They weren't, later round Brock Heward selections, guys that Brock mentioned would be a good fit. There was a huge run on all of the corners and defensive ends in the second round on Friday, that the Seahawks just never had an opportunity to get. And those were all players that we had talked about and discussed and kind of went through all of the reasons why they would be a good fit, right? Whether it was those guys on the edge or a couple of the versatile playmakers on the outside. Like, okay, there's a bunch of dudes here, and unfortunately all of them went before the Seahawks finally picked at 64, and that's frustrating. I like, especially at the end of it then, like, you're just kind of reading and you're like, okay, they went corner and safety? Like, yeah, all right, those were positions of need, but it means that you went running back, safety, corner in that order in your first three spots. Like, that's a lot of people away from the ball. And, I will admit that all made me a little nervous. And then you read through some of the, reaction grades and stuff. It was not a particularly pretty picture. It was not a bunch of A's. It was not a bunch of this guy comes in and makes an immediate dominant impact, and maybe that was to be expected with this draft. There was a lot of high C's, mid B's kind of floating around of like, yeah, John turned his, 4 picks into 8 picks, and but there was nobody in there that the world was super excited about. And then you hear him talk, and it kind of changes the entire feeling of this draft, especially the two guys they picked on Friday. I mean, the 5 on Saturday? I mean, that sounds, other than Bo Stevens, the guard, it sounds like a lot of special teamers and guys that maybe will make an appearance at some point in depth. And I'm not making light of that. Like, that's a thing. And the ready squad and all that stuff is very important to Mike McDonald, but I think we're just going to have to wait and see on the field. The whole vibe of Bud Clark, the safety they took out of TCU, and Julian Neal, the corner they took out of Arkansas, is very intense. It's a lot. They are both.
It's also very fun.
They're a lot. I love them. So, like, once you hear them, it just totally changes. So here's Bud Clark. This is going to be hard. You guys are going to hear this a bunch today, some of this stuff, because there's so much good stuff. And Clark is not, I wouldn't say, there's not a lot of, he's not saying a lot, but with the few words he says, he is. He was asked about modeling his game after Big Cam.
Yeah, Cam Chancellor, of course, because he's always bought the pop, and I feel like he was the hammer, not the nail, and that's what I try to do all the time out of the play.
I mean, you gotta like that, right? He's the hammer, not the nail. That's how I want to play. Okay. Hey, Julian Neal, who are you?
I'm the most physical corner in this draft class. I use my arms to my advantage. I use my length. I use my availability. Never gotten hurt. I've never missed a game in college from being hurt. I come down, I hit something. I'm going to go up and go get the ball. I'm getting interceptions. I'm pressing dudes at the line. I'm locking dudes up at the line. It's box time.
It's box time.
He was literally like out of breath his entire interview. He was so excited and so like confident. I love it.
He sounds like Muhammad Ali. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Like, okay, whoa, easy. He's great. So I'll hold off on playing you all of the sound from these guys, but it just is very clear in listening to them that this was a big part of what they were trying to do. They're trying to bring in guys with a tremendous amount of confidence and personality. And I don't think that generally the draft grades will account for that. They look at tape, they look at fit, and then they're going to look at essentially value compared to where they thought you might be able to get that player. And if you're only looking at this draft that way, it's going to be a little, not bad, but a little meh. Right? A little so-so.
Maybe we were reading different stuff, but I don't know. I saw a whole ton of people on Friday saying Bud Clark to the Seahawks was a match made in heaven.
Good. I was looking more at the draft overall. Like the overall draft grade was kind of like, C+, B-, B. Like kind of in that range. I didn't see a ton of A's or anything like that. And it's really hard to do that when you've got 4 picks and you're picking at the end of each draft. So I'm not crushing them for it. When you read it, it's like, okay, they drafted for, some needs and they had to replace some corners. Like, okay, I kind of get it. But when you hear from the guy, you're like, oh, okay. Like, this sounds like a Seahawk. This sounds like the kind of juice that we've been talking about around here. And it does sound like part of that is recognizing some of the mistakes of the past. That after they had the Legion of Boom guys with all their bravado, they end up drafting Tedrick Thompson, who's like a wallflower, and a bunch of other guys. I don't know why I'm picking on poor Tedrick. It could have been any Lano Hill and the rest of that group. Like they were in awe of the team. And they asked, Mike and John about that yesterday. Here's John.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have been on our board, really. That's a huge, they weren't going to be on our board if we felt that way.
How did that show?
And I say that like that our scouts felt that way,
How did that show up in scouting? Because that's not a game tape. I guess sometimes it could be competitive.
I mean, I could talk to you about this for hours, Greg. Like, these guys study these guys forever. So it's like we have a competitor scale, and like how they fit into the competitor scale, and what's their self-efficacy, and like how are they going to handle competition.
Well, it sure seems as if their second and third round pick are going to be pretty high on the self-efficacy scale.
One other thing I would note that came through to me on that is we talked to Jadarian Price the other day. I would say he's not as boisterous and in your face as them, but he has a confidence that I think they all seem to know who they are at this young age, which is something that I think a lot of young 20-year-olds don't have and have to grow into as they come into the NFL.
Well said. This is a year where hearing from the players, I think, might be just as important as reading about the players. And so I do appreciate all the work you did yesterday, Maura, seriously. Not just because it was a lot of work, but also just you hear this and you're like, okay, these guys just have something about them that obviously appeal to the team above and beyond the positions they play and what they can do on the field and what their tape shows from college. So I am excited to learn a little bit more about them. I want to learn more about Bud Clark and get a chance to watch him once he gets in here, and Julian Neal. I mean, those two more than anyone else. But maybe they did get a potential starting guard in Bo Stevens. Maybe they did get some more guys that we're going to see on special teams, and eventually, you know how many people it takes to get through the year. So all these guys may end up playing a role in some capacity. So fun weekend for the Seahawks, fun weekend for the Mariners, and I'm sorry they get a little short shrift today just because it's such a big draft day. I promise they're going to lead need to know throughout the entire morning. Look, they did what they needed to do. Not just what they needed to do. They came out and won 3 in a row, which really makes it 4 in a row now. And it is just the constant proof in this stupid game of baseball that just when you think you are, understanding the way something's going, it takes an abrupt turn and goes somewhere else, right? As soon as we're sitting here like, all right, how's the worry meter? What are we thinking? Like giant left turn. And the next thing you know, the team goes out and wins 4 straight and scores a bunch of runs and comes up with clutch base hits. And the middle of their order, the 2, 3, 4 guys are a huge, huge piece of it. I mean, it's just, how do you can't predict ball. I mean, they say it all the time and it's just totally true. You realize they're a series win away from finishing April at 500? Which is fine. It's not great. It's not what we were hoping for this year. But you finish April at 500, they could be in first place by the end of the month. They could be in first place by the end of this week, which is also the end of the month. They play 3 games in Minnesota, and then April's done. Minnesota right now has lost 5 straight. Look, stupid game. Minnesota come in, sweep them now. I don't know. But all of a sudden, the Mariners are playing really good baseball, and the bats are clicking, and they're doing all those things you want them to do. The offense looks a whole lot more like what it's supposed to look like, and that's without Donovan. So that just continues to raise the spirits. Pitching was good throughout the series other than one rough start from Brian Wu. And you know what? Brian Wu gets a mulligan. He's been so good and so consistent. He gets a mulligan. Have a bad day. That's fine. You're going to have a couple of those in a row before I have any concern about him. So overall, great weekend for Seattle sports. We're going to talk about it, obviously, throughout the morning. We'll come back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know next on Brock and Salk.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
At Toyota of Renton and Toyota of Kirkland, they have a ride made for the young and the ambitious. Lease the 2026 Corolla for just $209 a month or the Corolla Cross for $269 a month, both for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. Or level up to the Camry Hybrid for $289 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit ToyotaofRenton.com and ToyotaofKirkland.com. Offers valid through May 4th on approved credit through TFS. Excludes taxes, titles, license, and a negotiable dealer documentation fee.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures and followed the outcomes. They have the experience to know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
A legendary night for a legendary arm. The one and only Randy Johnson.
Swing and a miss. He's got number 14.
See the big unit make more Mariners history on Saturday, May 2nd, as his number 51 is retired at T-Mobile Park. The first Mariners pitcher to throw a no-hitter.
Randy looks to the skies. That is covered by the Dome and Bedlam.
Win the Cy Young Award.
And there's 19. That is a new American League record by a left-hander.
And be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
The trade to Seattle set my career in motion.
He was dominant. He was intimidating. He was electric. Join us in celebrating the big unit for 2 great nights presented by T-Mobile. Friday, May 1st. Score your own number 51 on Randy Johnson 80s jersey night. And be there Saturday, May 2nd for Randy Johnson number retirement ceremony night.
Very proud to have played there for 10 years. Thank you, Seattle.
Get your tickets at mariners.com/big unit.
Evan Cohen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app, share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Mariners and Twins tonight in Minneapolis. First pitch at 4:40, 3:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
This hour is brought to you by Goldberg and Jones.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, nothing changes faster than a baseball team's fortunes. As soon as you're pretty convinced you know what you're seeing, it just remarkable how often things change. And after hitting a low in the series loss to the A's, Mariners went out and, of course, swept the Cardinals on the road, winning now 4 in a row. This time, the Bats had a big role in it. They scored 17 runs in the 3-game series. Yes, 11 of them came in that Saturday thriller, but the way that one ended was great. Top of the 9th, who but little Leo Rivas.
O'Brien comes set. Here's the pitch. Swung on line, drive, base hit, center field. J.P. Crawford scores. Here comes Mitch Garver. He's around third. The throw home cut off. Garver scores. The Mariners have taken the lead. Leo Rivas in St. Louis coming through. It's 11-9 in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that was a crazy back and forth, big comeback kind of a game, and the Mariners end up winning it. You would certainly put all three of these games in the category of the could have gone either way, and M's finding a way to win all three of them. Yesterday, it was, well, a combination of things we've been talking about. ABS system obviously playing a major role. I never saw a official distance outside on the pitch that Ref Snyder challenged, because unfortunately they cut away like just as they were about to show the amount of distance outside the zone. It looked like it was about 3.5 inches. It was nowhere close. Ref Snyder, instead of striking out.
The umpire auditor site says 5.97 inches.
That's absurd. I mean, it's one of the worst calls of the year that I've seen overturned. Little tap on the head. Instead of being strike 3, it's ball 3. Bang. One pitch later.
The pitch. Swung on. Tanked. Left field. This is on its way. It is gone. Goodbye, Rob. Ref Snyder into the Mariners bullpen, and the Mariners have taken the lead in the 9th. A solo smash has given the M's control. It's 3-2.
I know people were trying to say goodbye to Rob Ref Snyder just about a week ago, but now he's got a couple home runs and starting to look a little bit more like that weapon he was signed to be against left-handed hitting, and that's why you pinch hit in that spot, and obviously it worked very, very well. Cal gets to 6 home runs. Julio had 4 hits and a home run. Naylor had a good day on Friday, and then on Saturday, and unfortunately got a little quad injury, but yeah, pretty good weekend. They're now 14-15, heading to Minnesota for 3 games. As I mentioned, Twins have lost 5 straight, but win the series, and you get to 500 at the end of the month. That is obviously not ideal, but still a pretty nice little spot after where they were.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, John Schneider and the Seahawks, busy weekend, putting on a clinic, really, and how to turn 4 picks into 8. 3 of them came in the final round. Second and third round picks, they certainly addressed the secondary. Safety Bud Clark out of TCU, and then cornerback Julian Neal from Arkansas. Those guys obviously play those positions, and those were positions of need. But it's pretty clear that the confidence and the personality was a big part of why they're drafted.
It's interesting. Dave told us that Julian was like that with you guys, too. In reputation-wise, he's just been a fairly quiet guy, but like he's a really confident athlete. And, you know, he's been through a lot. The young, hipper scouts, you know, they have a saying for leveling up, and this guy's done it. You know, he went to Fresno, enrolled at Stanford for a minute, you know, want to challenge himself in the SEC, and he did it. Performed at a high level, and they're both really confident guys. Bud's gonna be fun too. He's a blast. We were talking, Mike and I were talking about like the personalities, like throughout the process. Like, man, if we put Bud and Spoon in the same room, like what's gonna happen? Nick in his second year, you know, so
it's gonna be a fair amount of confidence in that room. Let's see. They asked Bud Clark to describe his game.
I feel like I'm versatile and I'm a ball hog. You know, I'm getting to the ball every chance I get. I compete. I'm a competitor always.
These guys are great. His answers are pretty short, but obviously full of life. And then you got this Julian Neal dude who's like, he was asked about getting picked by the Seahawks. Was that a surprise?
It wasn't a surprise at all. After that meeting at the Combine, Larry and the assistant head coach told me, you most likely go get picked by the Seahawks, Julian Neal. He told me that to my face. And I believed in him. And they believed in me. And they believed in me. We going back to back this year.
Oh, whoa. We're going back to back. How about that? Also, Larry turns out to be Leslie Frazier. Don't worry about the name. It's all fine. And then maybe you even saw the video of him saying that he didn't have any hats for the draft, and he didn't want to buy 32, and the company said no, they never sent it to him, so he sent his grandmother, I think it was, out to get his aunt, out to get one hat, and she got a Seahawks hat. Very Russell Wilson walking down the beach having a message delivered to him that he was going to be a Seahawk as well. So pretty fun to see these two arrive in Seattle.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
And, of course, they weren't done. We saw a couple players that could thrive in special teams. And maybe most interestingly, 5th rounder that they traded up for, a guard that could definitely challenge Anthony Bradford or at least Christian Haynes. Bo Stevens out of Iowa.
You know, you're going to get them all in the run game, technical in the pass game. Love going to hit. I'm not one to shy away from contact for sure. But just more of that, more overall, just a professional person, you know, a person that takes things seriously, and a guy that's from Iowa, who's always considered an underdog, always has that chip on their shoulder. There's never the hay's never in the barn, is what Coach Barrett says. That's just the kind of mentality Iowa culture has, and what I've kind of embodied.
I mean, pretty cool, right? Love the idea of just adding a little depth there, and you needed that. Noticeably absent, no edge players, no linebackers, probably a vote of confidence in Tyrese Knight, no tight ends. So they'll pick up some of those guys in the undrafted free agent group, and I still got to imagine there's going to be a conversation about bringing in one of these veteran edge players who've been around the block a couple times, but. Yeah, overall, good draft. I mean, it is what it is. That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour. It was kind of I'm going to use the word later, a bit of a workmanlike draft, right? It's not splashy. You didn't end up with, the big names or anything like that, but you had a bunch of people leave in the offseason, and I don't think it's an accident. Doesn't mean they're direct replacements, but you had a running back, a safety, a corner, and a defensive end all depart through free agency. And you drafted 3 of those 4 positions with your first 3 picks.
Well, and they even said that the receiver they drafted, Emmanuel Henderson, could do a lot of the things Tariq Young did, another guy that they lost in special teams.
100%. So really, you're looking at the draft like, okay, they had clear and glaring holes on the roster, and they had to go about filling them, and they did. I'm not going to criticize that, especially when you hear all the personality. It's too bad that some of the more fun, exciting players on the field that we talked about just weren't there at 64. To me, that's not a fault. I'm not faulting the Seahawks for that, but still wanted Gabe Akis. Like, that would have been pretty fun. Some of those guys on the edge. But hey, you know what? You go out and sign one of the veterans that's available there, whether it's Fowler or Von Miller, whatever. There's a bunch of those guys. Probably going to need it for depth, and then see what happens. The core of the team, obviously, all still back. So, going to be fun. Let's take a quick break. I want to make sure you guys get a chance to hear from Jadarian Price. If you missed this on Friday, eye-opening. I mean, just what a kid. Blew me away. You know my rule. I don't like to talk to college kids before, like, 10 a.m. I talk to this guy anytime. I talk to him in the middle of the night. Whatever you got to do. He was great. Stick around. You'll hear it next on Brock Salk.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber The Door Store. One of our most popular services is our match-up service, where we use your old door as a template to create a new door in your existing frame. Whether you need an interior or exterior door, this is a great way to change out your doors DIY style. And as long as we have what you need in stock, we currently have available space without a long wait for our same-day match-up service. Please visit us in Shoreline, where there's plenty of good parking. Also, check us out online at franklumber.com.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The best path at that point was to stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car.
She was way happier.
The LJ way.
There he is, Mr. Big Time Capital One Bank guy.
Mom, please.
Well, look at this Capital One Cafe. I just might move in.
Or just drop by. Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week.
I could put my spoon collection right here by the ATM, yes.
Wow, you weren't kidding, Mom.
I never kid about the spoon collection, son. Oh, hey, what's that thing you always say?
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
No, the other one.
What's in your wallet?
Oh, that's my boy.
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One and name member FDIC.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. Ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Ladies and gentlemen, step right up and test your luck for a chance to win up to $10,000 in cash. That's right, folks. Every Saturday in May from 7 p.m. till midnight, there'll be two winners every hour. Pick the lucky rubber ducky and walk away with 10 grand. It's Duck Duck Win. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Mariners and Twins tonight in Minneapolis. First pitch at 4:40, 3:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. Rising energy prices, fragile supply chains, even threats of food shortages. It's no surprise that millions of American families are starting to take preparedness seriously. That's why My Patriot Supply created Family Preparedness Starter Packs. 1 full week of food for everyone in your family. Plus water filtration, cooking tools, and backup power. All for as little as $100 per person. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com to get prepared today. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
All right, final hour of our week, Brock, and it starts in style with new Seahawks running back Jadarian Price joining us right now. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
How does that sound? New Seahawks running back. Is that a good title?
It's a great title, and I'm still, I still can't believe it's real, but, I'm ready to work.
Can you just, I want to make sure we got the pronunciation right. Jadarian, is that right? Because we've heard Jadarian, we've heard JD from
Coach Denbrock we had on last week. He said JD. I was like, JD.
It felt like kind of a way of of avoiding the correct pronunciation. So just make sure we get it right moving forward. Jadarian?
Yes, it's Jadarian. My closest ones to me call me JD. Okay. But yeah, it's Jadarian.
We're not there yet. No. Give us some time. It's just the beginning of the interview.
Well, coaches have to do that. They were PE majors after all.
In like 8 minutes. But in 8 minutes, we'll go JD. What was your family's reaction last night?
Oh man, I had everyone here that could possibly make it, and people even driving up from Houston. So it was a huge moment for the family, and also I think it was a great opportunity to get all the family together. And no matter what anybody was going through, I think seeing someone in our generation do something accomplish something so big was huge, and it was very emotional. But yeah, they enjoyed it a lot.
What is your hometown like?
Oh, my hometown, Denison, Texas. It's got about 25,000 people. So, some would say small, some would say it's about, average, but huge football town. Everyone knows each other. You find out someone's your cousin, every year because everyone's just, it's crazy here, but, I'm glad I grew up in a town like this and have a great support system.
Who's the best player to come out of Denison, Texas?
Jadarian Price.
Player. Fred Washington, back in '88, he played with the Bears. Rest in peace to him. We've got a couple greats. Aaron Hunt. Just a lot of guys who, went to the Division I level and successfully made their way to the NFL.
Cool.
Not many have done it, so I am on that list of one of three guys to actually be drafted. But it's truly a blessing.
Not just drafted, but drafted in the first round. I am curious how meaningful that was to you. You knew you were going to get drafted at some point. Was it important and meaningful to be selected in the first round?
I think it was just a testament to, my value as a player and a human being. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't know for sure if it was going to happen. You hear all the noise and all the mock drafts and stuff, but I was comfortable. I was content with myself. If today doesn't happen, it's all right. We still got tomorrow. I'm going to get drafted regardless. But when I got that call, it really all came full circle, and I was like, okay, like people have been telling me since the season ended, you're a first-round back. And as much as I believe them, I was like, I'm prepared for anything. So I continued to work like a first-round back, and I'm continuing to do so.
Jadarian Price, first-round pick, running back, Seattle Seahawks, joining us. Take me through the process of the last few months. I heard you last night with the Seattle Press saying you had an idea that Seattle liked you, spent some time with Coach Hammock on Zooms and in meetings. You kind of had an idea. Were there some other folks that you and your agent thought were in play as well? And then ultimately when Seattle called, just that justification that, yep, they wanted me and I'm now a Seahawk. How was that process?
Yeah, the process was, thankfully I had, previous teammates from Notre Dame who experienced it. And so I got to talk to them and on what to expect. But you really don't truly know what to expect until you're actually in the moment. So just, continue to keep my head down and work, prepare for the combine, the pro day, show my speed, show my agility, my catching, my hands, things like that, just trying to get better. But yeah, as far as like the meeting the coaches, going through, it just really kept me around football because I haven't played a football game in a while because our season ended a little early. So I love that I just got to talk an hour of ball every single day and learning new playbooks, going over my film and things like that. So just meeting new coaches. And I couldn't just sit here and tell you like the 5 teams that I was like, oh, they might pick me because I feel like most teams just had an equal amount of like interest.
I mean, you could if you wanted to. Like,
yeah, I don't really know, but.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just blessed to,
It's awesome.
Is it weird seeing your name in mock drafts?
It is. It was, yeah.
You look at them or you try not to look? Like, I'm sure you can't help it. You can be like, all right, well, I got to see what Daniel Jeremiah thinks. I got to see what Mel Kiper thinks. Like, you've grown up watching these guys, right? Don't you? Isn't it a little weird seeing your name on their mocks?
It is weird because, like, you go back to the Saquon Barkley days or even before and you watch their seasons progress and how they were in mock drafts and stuff and how they improved each week on the mock draft. And I'm like going back to, I think it was like October. I think that's what I really put put a staple out there. Like, oh, this guy's doing things. He's scoring multiple touchdowns a game. And then the mock drafts start coming out and I'm just like, and Coach Freeman even mentioned it to me. And I'm just like, man, Coach Freeman usually doesn't mention these kind of things because he doesn't believe in like the noise. So I don't know. It was crazy.
Why did you stay, Jadarian? When others, like, it's kind of funny. You come out of high school, super productive, 4-star. You got to pick where you wanted to go. You're at Notre Dame. You had people coming at you, I am sure, and your agent, like for your final year, coming at you. You got to pick. You got to stay at Notre Dame. NFL, they choose you. But ultimately, why did you stay for 4 years at Notre Dame?
Because Notre Dame's I committed to Notre Dame, and it's the best decision of my life, really. I wanted to finish my degree. I wanted to come back and compete for a national championship. And I wanted to prove to myself that I was just as good as the best running back and the best player in college football. So, and I made that challenge to myself, and I had to, trust my gut and look where we are now.
Was it hard? Were there ever times where it was hard, where you and your agent and your mom and family are like, whew, this is pretty life-changing money that someone's thrown at me? Were any of those conversations very difficult?
Yeah. Right after the national championship season, I think it was like 2 weeks after, you get multiple calls. Teams from Texas coming back home, like, oh, I could come back home closer to family. Everyone gets to come to games. North Carolina with Belichick, like multiple. I mean, it's bad. Like when you don't come from much, and then your mom hears the offer they're giving you up front, and it's like, she just came to tears. Like, is this really like real? And I felt some type of way when I had to tell her I have a plan, and I think I want to stay at Notre Dame, even though I'm going to be making half of what this life-changing money is. But I feel like that plan is working. So
yeah, I did.
What do you say to her about that last night?
Oh, I mean, she was just excited, overcoming emotions. But I mean, she doesn't even know how much her life's going to change, and she just, she's always supported me. I'm super grateful.
We read the story. I can read the words in your bio about your mom and all she's endured and what an unbelievable fighter and warrior she is. Can you speak to that to us and our audience?
Yes, my mom's been through a lot, and raising 3 kids at a very young age, having to navigate a life with, whether it was not making much money wise or just family stuff. She had a rough childhood. Both her brothers passed away from gun violence. And I never even met my uncles. They passed away before I was born. But also she, battled breast cancer at a young age, which was kind of rare. But she overcame that. And we're sitting here today, and she's about 11 years cancer-free, but still able to attend games, still able to take me and my sisters to practices and motivate us to be better and do better than what she did. So, I give all my, hats off to her, and she's my rock, and I wouldn't be here without her.
Where are your sisters? What are they doing?
Yeah, so my, the middle sister, she goes to Texas Women's University, outside of North Texas. So she's closer to home and can help out here, but she does a great job, and a good role model for my youngest sister, who's still a sophomore in high school, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter in life.
Dude, this is awesome.
So cool.
We got a lot of text messages coming in, and it's funny, about the first 5 or 6 of them all say, wow, this is giving me Doug Baldwin vibes. Sounds a lot like Doug, and everyone backing that up with, I mean that as the highest possible compliment. People really enjoying the interview. I will ask you this just because it's my favorite question for running backs, and I kind of have to. Biggest moment of the game, you got an opportunity to get to the end zone. There's one guy between you and pay dirt. You going through him, or are you going around him?
I think there's nothing more poetic about the game of football than clacking pads and going through somebody. And as a running back, I'd say go through him.
Yeah, that's the right answer. That's always the right answer. Even if it's not what you would do in real life, it's always the right answer to say you want to go through them.
My very last thing.
Whatever instincts are in the end game will show up, but yeah.
Yeah, I echo what Salk and our listeners, Jadarian, thank you for the time, the morning after. I'm sure it was a heck of a celebration last night and so much emotion. Last question for me, who was the running back you watched growing up? Who's the one you're like, yep, maybe one day when I'm doing all my things in small town Texas and football and basketball and track and doing all of it, but you watched it. Was there a running back or two that you wanted to emulate and vision?
Oh man, there was no one like Adrian Peterson growing up. That was my guy that I watched.
Yeah. He wasn't bad.
He was okay.
He was all right.
He was okay.
He ran through some guys.
1 or 2. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, this is great. Congratulations. Seriously. I think you're coming to the Super Bowl champs. I don't know if you know, but this team won a Super Bowl last year. You ever been up here? You ever been to Seattle?
I've never been to Washington. No, never been.
You're going to like it. I'll tell you when you're really going to like it is August. When everyone else is out there in the humidity and the heat, and you're on the shores of Lake Washington. It's like 72 degrees. You're going to be like, oh, my God, I've come to heaven. This is like the greatest place on earth. There's bald eagles flying around.
Yeah. I'm excited, man.
All right, man. Well, we're excited to see you. Congratulations again to you and your whole family. Thanks for doing this morning, and we'll look forward to talking again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Pretty cool, huh? Gotta love that kid. That was one of my favorites. I really enjoyed that conversation on Friday, and you can always tell. I got a whole bunch of text messages, personal text, not just ones on our text toy here, but just personal texts from friends and people I know are like, "Oh my God, that was awesome! That kid just blew me away." It just the thoughtfulness and obviously the life experience and ability to communicate it. It just comes out the radio speakers, right? So good on him. Love the conversation with Jadarian Price, and then obviously, you kind of get a lot of these fun stories over the course of any draft weekend. You get some of the emotion. This was Andre Fuller. So Andre Fuller is the first of the 3 7th-round picks, cornerback out of Toledo. Here's his draft call with Mike McDonald.
Hey, Andre, congrats, bud. Andre, you there?
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, you got him,
yes,
brother.
Sir.
Got a little hairy there for a second, didn't it? You all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. Well, you got home now, buddy, so we'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you.
And so, first of all, I love it. I love the display of emotion. I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at Mike McDonald, and not because Mike did anything wrong, but I'm just trying to put myself in Mike's shoes. Like putting yourself in Andre Fuller's shoes. Okay, I get it. He's drafted in the 7th round. He's been waiting his whole life from this. He went to Toledo. Like this is like such an incredible flow of emotion.
And so many guys act like too cool to show that now. I like it when they do.
It's great. So good on him. But I'm also just thinking about being in Mike McDonald's shoes, and you're like, I'm
He's like, I'm not sure if he's still actually there.
Well, right. You're trying to talk to somebody who's so overcome with emotion. And for you, you're happy for him, I'm sure. But it's a bit of a business meeting, right? You're like, yeah, we've drafted you. You're going to be a cornerback. I need you to play special teams. Like, welcome to the team. And he's just like, he's just bawling completely understandably. Again, I am not giving him any grief at all. But I'm just imagining being on that side of it, on the other side of it, on Mike McDonald's
Yeah, it
side
did seem
of the
like
call.
Mike McDonald eventually was like, I don't know, I'm just going to give it to. And then when he talked to Carl Scott, he was like completely composed by then.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
well, lucky Carl,
right,
because poor Mike is just like, well, I can't talk to this guy. He's crying the whole
But
time.
even
like, I
Carl
got nothing
Scott
to say.
knew, because like he definitely wasn't as boisterous as the other guys. When I went to cut his audio, even Carl Scott was like, I'm just going to talk to you for a second because I know you're a man of few words.
Well, he didn't have a lot of words there, and good for him, man. What a cool moment. I just find it like the idea of being on the phone with somebody who's that lost in emotion, and you're just like, it's like talking to Lyle all the time. Like every time you talk to Lyle, he's so emotional that it's very difficult to talk to him.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
See? You can hear it. It's difficult for its own reasons. It has nothing to do with emotion, but difficult in its own way. We talked about Bud Clark, right, earlier. A lot of bravado, no shortage of confidence, but also has become a dad at an early age and was asked, all right, what'd you learn about life from being a dad?
Pretty much being patient, man, and there's a lot more to life, Like, I always wanted to go out and do different things, but I feel like being able to come home to my family is absolutely the best thing in the world, honestly.
Cool. He's right. If you're going to learn anything by having kids, it's patience. There's no doubt. That's the number one thing that kids will teach you. Your patience meter will go from wherever it is and get a whole lot better. You can't help it. I mean, just otherwise you won't be able to make it. It's just parenting is nonstop testing of your patience, constant, and it never ends either. My God, Cecily, sheesh. And then for Julian, this was his why. They asked him, "What's your why?" Julian Neal. I thought you'd like this too.
My grandpa My grandpa, he died in 2022, cancer. He died on the game. He died on the game when we played Wyoming. He died that day before my game. He died 2022. I'll do it for my grandpa, man. Rest in peace, John Addison Neal.
Again, I'm not laughing at the obviously playing for his grandfather that died was amazing, but just the exuberance. Every single thing you cut from this Julian Neal dude, Maura, he's just exuberant. He said he died 7 times. I love him. I love the exuberance. It's just great. It's so funny. We can sit here and play this stuff all day, man. Just fun guys, and obviously just a fun element to what they're bringing here to this team. And draft day is fun, and the emotion's fun. Somebody says that I can't handle the emotion. That's not true. Mike answers phone, hears crying, does not compute. No, I'm not saying that. I get it. But you're on the other end of a phone. It's not even like you're there in person. Somebody starts crying in a conversation in person, you can kind of pause, look around for a moment, give them a hug, pat them on the shoulder. Depending on who they are and your relationship with them, there's like a lot of things you can do to try to, help them and be in the moment and all of that. You could start crying yourself. But you're on the phone with somebody you've barely met. They're crying. What is the right thing to do? What do you do if you're in Mike McDonald's shoes? You're just like, yeah, that's true. This is a guy, Mike McDonald, who once had a 27-second pause or whatever it was on our air. He's sitting here like, this dude's crying. I'm just going to say nothing. Pretty funny.
Yeah, he's not going to make an awkward moment less awkward.
No, he's an awkward dude.
Style.
Right. He's like, oh, don't worry, I've got the. I mean, Pete, to his credit, was really good at that stuff, right? Pete didn't care if there was somebody else on the other end of the phone. He'd be happy to just talk to himself for 3 minutes.
Schmaltzy moment, kind of like Brock does.
True, but Pete could also just keep talking. Like, you're not capable of talking right now? No biggie. I'll just talk enough for both of us. Mike's like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know. He's crying. I don't know what to do. Anyway, good draft weekend for the Seahawks. We're going to talk a lot about today. Brian Walters here, and in fact is actually physically here already, so that's exciting. He's going to be in for the rest of the show today, and then he's going to come hang out with me again tomorrow, and then Wednesday. We got like a bunch of cool guests over the course of the week, too. I should just let everybody know. Daniel Jeremiah tomorrow at 8:30. So, again, we got the dude. Like, texted a little bit with DJ yesterday. Excited to have him tomorrow and just come on and like go full all in on everything the Seahawks did and really just give that national level analysis. So Daniel Jeremiah tomorrow at 8:30. We may talk to Hawk Blogger tomorrow as well, kind of working through some details on that. Wednesday, little bit of a short show as we get out of the way for Mariners, but
I'm working on a time, but I believe we'll be talking to TCU head coach Sonny Dykes about Bud Clark, who everybody seems very intrigued by. So we'll get a little more background on him.
Awesome. I feel like we've gotten to know a lot about Jadarian Price, but Bud Clark and the rest of these guys were not out of the blue, but we just didn't have as much info. So, yeah, we'll talk to Sonny Dykes, it looks like, on Wednesday. Thursday, our buddy Greg Bishop is going to come in, which is awesome. Love when Greg comes in to tell stories. And, of course, you know that Greg was college roommates, housemates, whatever, with our friend Jeff Passan. And Jeff is going to join us on Thursday as well.
We talked about getting them together, but I don't know. I'm a little worried.
Have we not? I thought we did it once.
Did we?
I think we did it once already.
We just talked about, because, Passan starts dropping F-bombs when you bring
That's
up
true.
Bishop.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? We'll do all of that on Thursday. So should be a really fun week. As I said, Brian Walters is here. We're going to dig into the draft together next. How did the Seahawks do? I think I've got like a one-word answer, but it very quickly turns into a whole lot more. We'll do it next on Brock and Salk.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
With the experience of over 150,000 procedures, the doctors at K2 Vision will know which procedure is best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Evan Cohen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app, share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Rich Eisen here with some advice. If high-interest credit card debt is grinding you down, it might be time to call an audible with a SoFi personal loan. It consolidates your debt into one low monthly payment with no fees required. And with as soon as the same day funding, you can make the right play fast. Call an audible on your debt today at SoFi.com/debtplay. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debtplay.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Get me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello! All right, how about this? We got Brian Walters with us here for the next couple days. Good morning.
Good morning.
Monday after the draft, right? Day after the draft. Brock's ditched me for the week, which is fine. He's celebrating his 50th birthday with doing some cool stuff with his wife and kids and all that. So thanks for coming in and hanging out.
It's actually going to be fun to come in here on a day that's there's something important to talk about. Usually I'm in here like a bye week or something. Everyone's on
4th
vacation.
of July.
Here we are. We're trying to, just get some material out, but it's after the draft. We get dissected a little bit.
This is like a big promotion.
Fun.
This is like, instead of being asked to come in at the end of the game in garbage time and like run a couple routes while they're really just running out the clock, like, hey man, we need you. This is like start of the third quarter, tie game. Let's go.
It's going to be the best show you've ever had. So
Best show we've ever had. So, all right, I'll ask you the question.
Yep.
How'd the Seahawks do this weekend?
Man, that is a great question, and I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
Perfect. All right, so moving on.
Starting off with a great no. I absolutely here's one thing I did take from this weekend is, well, the weekend and let's just do the entire draft.
Yeah.
No matter what they say, the Seahawks, they drafted for need. No matter how they want to say it, they want to say, hey, we picked the best player available. It was strictly a needs draft, and that's what they did. And that's fine. I'm actually okay with that. I think it's a good little change from what they have done. So that's one thing. But two, I think they shocked a lot of people. They shocked me because they drafted some of these players that, especially Bud Clark. I'd never heard of Bud Clark. I really hadn't. And then they drafted him, and you're like, huh. That's not the name I expected. And then you go through and you watch him. You watch his highlights. You see what he's all about. You listen to his interview, and you're like, okay, Seahawks did their homework on him. And this is going to be such a fun guy to watch develop.
Well, he's certainly going to be fun to listen to.
Oh, yes.
He's got a little oomph to him. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. For me, I think they did good. I don't think I could say this was a great draft the day after. It's not filled with sexy picks. It's not stacked at the line of scrimmage, which is where things are most important. I did want them to get some sort of a defensive end edge rusher to replace Boye Mafe. All those guys were sort of gone by the time they picked at 64, and I think they had to take Jadarian Price at 32. So, I kind of looked through it and said, okay, I can't quite call it great. Maybe years from now, as 4 of these players turn into Hall of Famers, we'll obviously say, well, that was the whole thing. But day after instant analysis, I think good, not great. But the word I guess I would use more than anything, you said need, I would just say workmanlike. It got the job done. They had a job to do this weekend, and it was a difficult one because they only had 4 picks, and it was at the end of every round, and they only had, their Super Bowl caliber roster. So with all, and it's a bad draft. I mean, like the draft itself is not known as one of the better drafts around, especially at some of the premier positions. So yeah, you said need. They needed a running back.
Yep.
They got one. They needed to replace the losses at corner and safety. They drafted for it. They needed depth in the interior of your offensive line. They traded up for it in the 5th round. Like, you kind of look at what they needed, and yeah, they absolutely went out to try to get those guys.
And one thing that stands out too, which I think is pretty cool, is you went in with 4 picks. You walked out with 8 picks.
Okay.
You traded back for, this isn't including the next year's. We're talking about this year's because they actually traded 2017 4th
They did
rounder,
a
2027.
rounder.
Yeah, 4th rounder for the 5th rounder. But you traded back total in all 14 spots for 3 extra picks. That's kind of remarkable, if you ask me. And especially when I don't think you don't lose your guy, obviously, trading back. Like they knew their guy was still going to be there. They knew trading back 2 spots that they'd still get Devin, or 3 spots they'd still get Julian Neal, and then they did one later and turned it into 2 7th-round picks. Not saying those 7th-round picks are going to pan out to something. You really never know with those, but just the way they ended up getting all that draft capital anyway and only lost 14 total spots. I think that's pretty impressive by John Schneider and how they go about
Well,
things.
clearly he's been doing this a while, right? I mean, he kind of understands the game, understands what he's doing, and is able to, as you said, kind of see and feel his way through it. He wanted to trade back more, obviously, early in the draft, wasn't able to do it, wasn't able to find the right partner. But here you go, right? I mean, you end up with Bud Clark in the second round. We've talked a lot now about Jadarian Price, but you end up with Bud Clark. And every indication is he wants to be a mean sucker. He wants to be physical. He wants to be nasty. He said he modeled his game after Cam. Brian Baldinger did one little instant reaction, and he's all over this guy.
Like, he just has ball skills. It just travels. You watch, like, any Horned Frog game right here. Just watch number 21 and see where he goes and where he ends up and how he sees the field from the safety position. Like, here he comes. The ball's tipped, and there he is. Like, he's always in position to come up with it. John Schneider found himself a playmaking safety right now. I know they lost Reek Woolen, in the secondary, but honestly, this Bud Clark can play. He just has a knack of being in the right place.
So, yeah, what was it, 15 interceptions at TCU.
And something John Schneider said could have had 30, which I loved about that.
I actually have it, yeah.
Okay.
Always keeping him humble.
I got you.
Here you go, John Schneider.
Good. Poor. That's pretty good. Yeah, we'll give him credit when he's here, but he probably should have had 30. Yeah. He like, he dropped, like, he gets his hands on a lot of balls. Let's put it that way.
It's so true, though. It is. If you watch his highlights, go watch him a little bit. He is all over the place.
What is it you like about him?
I like that he is a ball hawk. I mean, that's how you would describe him. He is all over the ball, whether it be a deep ball, he's flying around. And all right, I'm a wide receiver, so I think defensive backs have terrible ball skills. I really do. I mean, they're dropping everything, and he had some drops, but the way he some of his pass breakups were actually really impressive for a DB, like catching up, flying through the air. Reaching as high as he can, getting his hand on the ball, like tipping it that way. And he has a knack for getting his hands on the football. And I think that's something that's a rare trait when you can do that. But the other thing about him too is you watch him at TCU. I'm going to label him. He's the combination of Eamon and Devin Witherspoon.
Okay.
Because he's smaller. He's not quite that Eamon size. But he's kind of feisty like Witherspoon and kind of all over the place. He wants to step up, make some plays. He's got that attitude about him. You heard him in his interview, how he sounds. I mean, him and Spoon in the same room is going to be hilarious. And so that kind of excites me. And he also he's matched up playing nickel. He's playing corner. He's a deep safety at times. He plays a little bit of everywhere. Now, not the same physique as Eamon obviously, but I can't wait to see how the Seahawks put him into his place.
It really is interesting how important that seems to be to them. And it's not that they're looking for guys to play 5 different positions, but it sure does seem like it's confusing personnel-wise for the offense to not know how they're aligning these guys. And if Eamon is sort of the ultimate example of, hey, we can play base essentially out of nickel, how does this guy fit into that ability to do that as well?
I think that's a huge thing because as an offense, you look at personnel. You know when you're subbing one package in, this is what the defense is going to bring at you. Here you go. Oh, there's the nickel. But when the Seahawks have the ability to, when you sub in, let's just say again a 3-receiver set. Oh, is it Eamon who's going to be in the nickel? Oh, is it going to be Bud Clark who's going to be the nickel? Oh, okay. Is it going to be Devin Witherspoon who slides in the nickel, and now you have a corner like Julian Neal or whoever wins that third corner spot that's going to slide to the outside. You just have multiple ways to play one type of position group against an offense. So there's no tendencies there. There's no, okay, we know when this guy comes in, they're playing man-to-man coverage and this. So there's just so many ways they can turn it, and I think that's what Coach McDonald really loves about him.
Well, it is the draft now done. Heavy on the secondary. Obviously, I shouldn't skip over Jadarian Price. I mean, we did talk about him on Friday, but that's really the most important thing you had to get in this draft. I mean, like, you're looking at your team compared to last year, and you're like, okay, well, they don't have a running, like, they just don't have one. Running back may or may not be the most important position on the field. It's not anymore, and the league's devalued it. But you have to, have one. You still need to hand the ball to somebody, and so bringing Price in to at least cover the time until Zach Charbonnet is going to be ready. I mean, like, that's still the biggest thing you did in this draft. Everything else kind of comes after that.
He's getting all your touches for the most part. Him and Emmanuel Wilson to start the season, unless Kenny McIntosh showed a big recovery and comes in as well and makes a fight for those carries. And I love it. I love it, man. You watch him run, and this is a weird comparison, but it's like he's like Kenneth Walker, but absolutely different than Kenneth Walker. If that makes sense. He's got the ability to kind of he's got the explosive ability, just like K9 did. Anytime K9 had the ball, you're like, okay, he could break this for 50, right? Did he? No. A lot of -2, -3 yards working. But Jadarian Price is just like that. Every time he gets the ball, he can go. I mean, he in the best out of all the running backs in this class, he was the number one in explosive run rate.
Right.
And so you just get that feel, but it's different because he's just going. He's decisive. K9's not decisive.
No.
Jadarian Price is decisive. He's saying, there's my gap. This is where it's going to, and he's putting a foot in the ground. And whether it be that where it's designed or not, he's going to make that decision very quickly.
For all these descriptions, I keep hearing Terrell Davis. That's kind of the name. Now, I haven't watched enough of him, obviously, in the NFL to find out what he's going to look like. But just hearing a lot of the descriptions, the one cut and go, and playing in this system, maybe he's not quite as big as TD. I don't think he's quite as big. Maybe a little faster. Yep. But that's sort of the I don't know. That's what keeps.
They also
coming
did
to
say
mind.
after the draft, Schneider said they'd like him to add a little weight.
Oh, cool. Well, easy to do.
That.
It's easy to do. A lot easier to add weight if that's what you've got to do. It's not that hard, especially at that age. All right. Brian Walters in all morning today, which is going to be great. We're talking football. We got a little baseball to talk. Shannon's even going to pop by a little bit later, talk about the M's. Stick around. We got a lot going on. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi, it's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Are you interested in investing in real estate in the greater Seattle market, but don't want to manage properties, develop real estate, or sign on debt? Hi, it's Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital, based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 15 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Find out why over 800 local investors have invested over $200 million in our Legacy family of funds. Legacy Northwest Fund returned over 12% in both 2007 and 2008. Are you looking at diversification opportunities, especially with what's happening in the market this year? Get in touch with us today. Legacy's family of funds has a limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investment performance based on average return of LOF1, LOF2, and LSF from 2007 through the date of calculation and after deduction of fees and expenses. Legacy family of funds investments are available to accredited investors only.
Hour and a half drive here. To have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Let Olympic help you create the ultimate home contrast therapy studio. Pair relaxing Tilo sauna with our revitalizing Vigor cold plunge. Save up to $5,000 when you buy both. These massive savings end April 30th.
Mariners and Twins tonight in Minneapolis. First pitch at 4:40, 3:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, baseball teams, man, they can change their fortunes very, very fast. A week ago, everyone in panic mode. A week later, Mariners have won 4 in a row, including a series sweep on the road in St. Louis this weekend. Lots of heroes. Cal Raleigh got himself on the board a couple times.
Pitch. Swung on, ripped, right field, Walker back, warning track, wall, it is gone! Cal Raleigh smashes one into the Cardinals bullpen.
That was yesterday to tie it up, and then a few innings later, it was Rob Refsnyder in the 9th. Hey, should you pinch hit the righty against the lefty? Or do you think maybe they should let Luke Raley hit because he's hot? Hey, you know what? Let's see if the righty has a better opportunity to hit the lefty and just see what happens.
The pitch. Swung on, tanked, left field. This is on its way. It is gone. Goodbye, Rob Refsnyder, into the Mariners bullpen, and the Mariners Mariners have taken the lead in the ninth. A solo smash has given the M's control. It's 3-2.
Yeah, they would not relinquish it. Jose Ferrer ended up closing out the game, so they finish up a sweep. Cal is now at 6 home runs. Julio had 4 hits and a home run this weekend. Naylor had a big home run. Hurt his quad, but he seems like he's going to be okay. Rob Refsnyder, you just heard. You put it all together, and even after some of the challenges, the Mariners are now a game and a half out of first and 1 game below 500. Like, they're right there.
Baseball. It's a crazy sport
Isn't
in that
it?
way. It is. You think this is the worst team in the league right now. Worst team ever, and then they throw a little sweep together on the road, too. So that was huge, and now we're all high and mighty on them. But one thing I got to say is this is exactly why ABS was put into play. And I loved every single second of it watching this.
Yeah, 6 inches. So if you missed it yesterday in the 9th inning, that Refsnyder home run, he would have been called out. I mean, it was 6 inches outside. It's a terrible call.
Terrible.
I mean, I have some issues with the ABS on the ones that are right. I'm like, I don't know. Can we just have a gray area? I don't know if I need everything overturned. But that ball was 6 inches outside. It was a terrible call. I mean, like, just an embarrassingly bad call. It wasn't close. And it would have drastically changed the game.
It would have. It would have changed Refsnyder's role on the team. You know, all these little things. That's game-changing and almost life-changing, too, if I'm going to add it.
It is pretty crazy. Well, glad to see that it ends up done right. So Mariners now head to Minnesota for 3. The Twins had started off well, but now have lost 5 straight.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, draft in the books. John Schneider went from 4 picks to 8 and did a lot of work in the second and third rounds here in bringing in Bud Clark and Julian Neal. They are a safety and corner, respectively, but may end up being a little bit positionless and morphing. Bud Clark, not short on confidence. They were, they asked him what position he was going to play.
I played safety, nickel, and corner before.
Did the Seahawks talk to you at all about what they envisioned for you in Mike McDonald's defense?
It's pretty much I can play multiple spots, but I'm leaving it up to them because I'm trying to play everything they want me to play. Really.
Yeah, going on to say what he's good at on the field.
I feel like I'm versatile. I'm a ball hawk. I'm getting to the ball every chance I get. I compete. I'm a competitor always.
All right. Well, again, love the energy.
Love the energy. He was so amped up. He just kept referencing Seattle. I told all my friends in Seattle, I saw a couple bald eagles, all that. Well, at one point he said, my heart dropped to my butt.
He did say that.
I said, all right. Well, he's excited.
I do have that sound here somewhere. We have so much sound. It's like hard to keep it all straight. But yes, his heart dropped to his butt. Okay. I've never heard that before. Then you get to Julian Neal, who might have had even more energy and even more to say. All right, Julian, tell us about your game.
I'm the most physical corner in this draft class. I use my arms to my advantage. I use my length. I use my availability. Never gotten hurt. I've never missed a game in college from being hurt. I come down. I hit something. I'm going to go up and go get the ball. I'm getting interceptions. I'm pressing dudes at the line. I'm locking dudes up at the line. It's box time.
I just love it.
What about him? I mean, we talked a lot about Bud, but what about Julian Neal?
Oh, I think he's a great pickup. And the thing about him, too, you knew the Seahawks loved him from the very moment that they met him.
Mm-hmm.
They apparently that they had told him right then at the Combine, we're going to get you, or wherever that pre-draft meeting was. And it's the perfect fit to fill for Reek Woolen. And, again, we're talking about drafting for need. Well, this seems like you got to replace a long, lanky Reek Woolen with a longer, not longer, but a lanky, more physical Reek Woolen.
Which is obviously what drove them crazy about Reek Woolen.
Yes, exactly.
They need somebody who's going to set an edge.
Yep.
This guy says he's the most physical corner in the draft. Go back it up.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
After that, I mean, a bit of a hodgepodge, 5th, 6th, 7th round. You're just not really sure. I mean, those guys picked late or undrafted, they never work out.
Nice. All right, that was a fun show. We'll see you guys next time.
You almost didn't even notice I was making fun of you. You were just like, no, I agree. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Well, let's see. So they trade up in the 5th round to get this guard. Bo Stevens out of Iowa. And generally, you take an interior offensive lineman out of Iowa, that's generally a pretty good place to find that kind of a player. Probably more upside than your typical fifth-round pick.
I would say so. And I think one thing about this guy that I keep hearing is how much he improved going into his senior year at Iowa. Where I think he had a rough year his junior year. He did kind of not necessarily the reliable lineman you would expect to one of the best in the game his senior year from a couple Iowa fans that I've heard this from. So just kind of excited to see where he goes from that. I think once you find that confidence, you can prove a lot. So it'll be good. A little more competition.
Well, they're going to be competition.
Yes.
Certainly a right guard with Anthony Bradford. We'll see if Christian Haynes is long for this world or whether he ends up having to move on. They also get a defensive tackle for some depth. But again, no edge players, no linebackers, no tight ends. So sometimes it's worth noting what they didn't do just as much as what they did. All right, that is everything you need to know. 15:15 every hour here in the Brock and Salk Show. Brian Walters in. So, all right, let's. I got some more draft stuff I want to get to. I got a couple draft questions before we do Blue 88. I'm curious about the immediate impact because this is not a team that's in rebuild mode. Like anybody you draft, you want them to help this year. Doesn't mean you can count on it, but you want to help. You want them to help this year. So how does you said this is a needs-based draft. How does it help them this year? And what does it teach us about the Seahawks in general? We'll try to dig into those together next. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Got, more than 4,000 people locally here in our area that have trusted Eastside Weight Loss Clinic because it's a safe way to lose weight. I'm one of them. Lost a ton of weight by going through that program, but I obviously am not alone. Know so many others who have done it as well. Dropped 20, 30 pounds, maybe more in less than 8 weeks. I lost 10 in just the first week. And you do so by eating healthy, fresh food that you buy at the store. None of that costly, recurring monthly payment stuff for injections or pills and then reading about all the scary side effects. No. This is all real food that you buy at the grocery store. It's doctor-developed, safe plan that truly does work. Simple as that. Heck, you're going to spend 15 minutes in traffic today. You might as well spend that time instead scheduling a consultation at eastsideweightlossklinic.com. Why? Because the only thing you really have to lose is the weight itself. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Hey guys, Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. If you're dealing with ED, I know what happens. You start trying the miracle supplement online or those pills sitting next to the energy drinks at the corner store. If there's one thing I've learned in life, cheaper is rarely better. ED and Peyronie's disease are a major problem with few real solutions. You don't need a gas station pill. You need medical-grade technology to fix your problems. At West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to treat the root cause. No pills, no shots, no surgery. Real equipment, real staff, and real results. Stop wasting money on things that don't work. It's time to end the frustration and the long nights. So whether you have ED, Peyronie's disease, or low T, we can help. Call West Coast Men's Health today.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy. Call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Mariners and Twins tonight in Minneapolis. First pitch at 4:40, 3:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I spoke with Dr. Meyer, the medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, and Dr. Meyer said Swedish CyberKnife patients are really satisfied with their experience. They report very few side effects, and they're seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later. To learn more, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or call 206-320-7187.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
The chartered plane to Queen Charlotte Lodge is on the runway, and you're not going to want to miss it. This summer has limited availability for king salmon, halibut, and lingcod fishing in beautiful Haida Gwaii, British Columbia. Queen Charlotte Lodge is absolutely the place to be. A luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, dad, or son. Book your stay at fishqcl.com, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience fishing first class. And remember, our dollar's worth $1.35 north of the border.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Save $10 on a pair of Bosch Focus wiper blades. Our professional parts people will even install them for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Yeah, a little disappointed that there were 2 citrus players in the draft, and the Seahawks got neither. No Makai Lemon, and then they weren't able to get my guy Orange, the big citrus, the defensive tackle. So a little bit of a bummer. No Lemon, no Orange, but still able to make do.
Brian, because since you weren't here last week, I jokingly asked who had like the better nickname in the draft. There was a guy that went by Waffle House, and then there was, the big citrus. And Salk got very sidetracked with citrus names and why there isn't a pomelo, and like there was, we got a lot of text.
If you're going to be the big citrus.
We took a deep dive into citrus and football names.
It kind of ended on a sour note.
There's a lot of names in this draft. Did you go through all the names?
Oh, yeah. I read that guy's article that he does out of Philly. It was pretty incredible. All right. Brian Walters here. Let's dig into some important questions, and then I'll do even more questions with you at 7:45, some Blue 88, and then a little baseball stuff. We got a whole bunch today. How does this affect them right now? Because a draft is generally about the long-term future, and we can talk through, kind of where these guys end up projecting. But what about right now? Because I've often said I don't like counting and relying on rookies. If they end up popping, if they end up having a role, great. Obviously, that's changing a little bit. Nicky Manwari became somebody they relied on last year. They relied on Gray Zabel. Like, there's some guys they needed to rely on. Is that where we're at this year? Are there some guys that are going to play major roles this year for the Seahawks?
Well, the obvious one is Jadarian Price. I mean, that's just as simple as it gets. And as much as you don't want to rely on a rookie, he will be getting the majority of the touches come week 1. And I don't think there's any question about that. That's the easy one. It also shifts the whole Seahawks focus. I think going into this after the draft, my big thing was, what are they going to do at running back? and I didn't think they would do this, really. I thought they were going to trade and make some kind of splash trade and get some kind of veteran running back. I thought they could do that, and now it shifts their entire focus now to edge. I think that's all it does. It takes running back solved. They're going to go in with what they have right now. I like it. It's going to be fine. Again, you don't need that big old superstar, and Jadarian Price can be that guy, but now you got to see where are they going to get some edge depth. I think that'll be this whole focus going into OTAs, going into mini camp, and then going into...
No, I don't want to spoil it, but that's definitely coming up in a few minutes here in Blue 88 because I want to know who you want. So we'll get to that in a few. But yeah, I mean, like, okay, so Price he's probably going to start.
Yes.
He's probably going to lead this team in carries when it's said and done. They are relying on Jadarian Price. Okay, so then let's go to days 2 and 3.
Yep.
Bud Clark, safety. Are you counting on him to start? Is he competing with Ty Okada? Is there a different role that I don't know? Like, what is Bud Clark right away?
Well, I think that's the beauty of this defense from Coach McDonald is I don't think he's going to have to be in there every single play and develop. Now, who knows? Maybe after you see him in OTAs, he picks up on this defense. He's got it, and he is that guy. He is Kobe Bryant for you. That's what he would be. So, but I think there'll be a lot of shifting. That's kind of how I see that. I think Ty Okada will get his time. I think Bud Clark will obviously get his, and then I think you'll see Eamon Worry a little bit too, more in the back end, which we didn't see a lot as well. So there's a lot of ways that
you can move things around in order to make it. Yeah, that's true.
So you're not putting the pressure on him right away.
Yeah, the Ty Okada part is interesting because he played really well in limited duty last year, and it does in some ways go back to that conversation I was alluding to with baseball of like, hey, Luke Raley's hitting really well because you're putting him in the right position to succeed. You don't overexpose Luke Raley by letting him hit against lefties and watch that batting average and OPS and everything else plummet because, unfortunately, that's just not what his skill set is. Ty Okada played really well in limited duty. Is there a concern that he could be overexposed? And so you want to make sure you're keeping that to the right amount of time on the field?
I think so, and because you saw a little bit of it last year as well. You saw him get exposed a couple times. You remember the Tampa Bay game? He played in that game. You saw what Tampa Bay did.
He got better after that. Yes. I mean, that was his first.
He got better. Not all his fault either.
Right.
I mean, it goes around the whole secondary what happened there. But you just have to look at the straight facts. He was in there when Julian Love was not. And then you go to a couple plays I want to go to in the when he played against the Rams. And yes, he made fantastic plays, but a couple times just kind of almost losing sight of where Puka Nacua was and kind of playing the ball and kind of taking a bad angle, allowing Puka to score a touchdown in those little mid-dig routes. So, again, very nitpicky, extremely nitpicky. He played fantastic. And I thought, and that was the common theme for this year, was that whoever was asked to step up did, especially on defense, which was great. So, there's little things that I know Ty Okada is going to work on as far as that, but I think it's just going to be fantastic to have that competition. But the guy I'm looking at, Salk, that I think will make the biggest impact this year is Julian Neal.
Really?
I do. I really do. I think that this was, like I said a little bit earlier, it was love at first sight for the Seahawks.
So just for people who were kind of following along here but weren't like paying rapt attention, second-round pick was Bud Clark. That's who we were just talking about. He's a safety at a TCU. Julian Neal is a corner who kind of bounced around a little bit but finished at Arkansas, third-round pick, and in theory could step right. I mean, is that a position you can step right in right away?
I think he's going to have to. I mean, you look at the corner depth. I think what you see, what you have. Who they signed Noah. I'm going to get his last name right. Igbenogany. Yep, Noah. They signed Noah, and so there'll be some competition there, and you have Nehemiah Pritchett as well. But there's not a ton there. I think it's wide open for him to be that third corner and move Spoon in on nickel packages when you need to. But again, that's the beauty as well as having a guy like Bud Clark, having a guy like Eamon Worry that can play that nickel too. So they have options, but I think Julian Neal is going to be a guy we see a lot of because they love what he brings. They love his length and just his ability to come up, stop the run, just like Spoon. He wants to hit. I mean, go watch him. Go pull up a YouTube video and go watch him. His highlights as a corner are him making tackles.
Yeah, Mike McDonald was asked about drafting all these corners. They picked 4 cornerbacks in the draft.
Yeah, well, there's definitely some special teams value, but like you can never have too many corners, and I don't think I've been a part of a team that has this many like drafted corners on their team, and so going into camp, which is really exciting. So it's going to be a fun competition, man. You know, it's going to be really cool to see, get these guys in here and get moving and see where it goes. So, and I know Jay's really excited too.
Yeah, so 3 drafted corners plus the drafted safety, so 4 members of the secondary. In that way, somewhat akin to that draft class with Tedrick Thompson and Mike Tyson and Shaquille Griffin and who am I missing? Leno Hill, when they went 4 members of the secondary and none of them really worked out other than Shaq Griffin. You know, you look at this, and I don't think they're being drafted the same way. It's not that, hey, you're eventually going to replace the Legion of Boom, so off you go. This is much more, all right, go in there and compete with some guys that, in many cases, are still on their rookie deals. And some of these guys are probably a little bit more about special teams, Fuller and Dansby and all that. But, yeah, I think you could see – the other thing you're going to find, Brock has said this a bunch of times, that there is going to be a rookie who shines on Hard Knocks. And it seems like Julian Neal is already making a case that he wants that to be him. Like all of the sound that we had from him, it does sound like here he is talking about his grandmother. He was asked, or his grandfather rather, what is your why? Why do you play football?
My grandpa, he died in 2022, cancer. He died on the game. He died on the game when we played Wyoming. He died that day before my game. He died 2022. I'll do it for my grandpa, man. Rest in peace, John Addison Neal.
Just the personality. Yeah. There's plenty of it. I don't mean to chuckle. I'm not laughing at his grandfather dying, obviously, but just the energy with which he's even talking about something like that is pretty out of control. I mean, this kid he is all personality. He was asked about the Seahawks defense.
Yeah, they're a very physical team. They like big corners. I feel like I fit well with that. I can fit in their scheme. The head coach, my corners coach, that coached at Arkansas, was assistant corners coach at the Seahawks 2 years ago. So it was just meant to be. He taught me, man, yeah.
He just goes until he runs out of steam, and then he's finally just like, yeah, anyway. I also more have found this one. This one's great. So he was asked, not unlike the question I asked Jadarian Price on Friday. I was like, all right, end of the game, you want to run through somebody you're around? And all running backs say through, because you have to. What are you going to say? Oh, I'd like to avoid contact and just get around. Right. I'm like, of course you want to say through.
But his line was pretty great. He said there's something poetic about the pads clacking.
That's true. It was a pretty good answer. But they asked Julian Neal what would be his favorite coverage call at a crucial point in the game. And there's some left and right turns here. It's a wild ride, but you take a listen.
So we're in a 4-2-5, country cover 3, basically a true zone. Wait, you said we're in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, fourth quarter, any important situation. What's your favorite defensive call and your role in it? So you're saying you're playing country cover 3, yeah?
Oh, no. We playing man. I'm gonna go punch him. I'm gonna go punch on somebody. They're not getting past me. And if you get past, I'm gonna look back for the ball and I'm gonna get that. It's simple. And I'm gonna go and punch somebody at the line.
Love it. Now, are you in off coverage or in press in this situation?
I'm in press. I'm all up in your face.
Okay.
I'm going to get down and dirty with it. Come on.
What do you think?
I think this is going to be, if there's ever a year for Hard Knocks, this is going to be it.
Right?
It's going to be so fun. And they're going to hang out in that defensive back room probably 75% of the time is what I'm feeling.
It's sure. I mean, you would think between Witherspoon and these two new guys coming in, and Julian Love is a great talker in his own way. I mean, very different style, but a great talker. I mean, you think about those 4 guys alone. That's a lot of personality in that one room.
It is, and you got the leader, Julian Love, like you said, who's just probably sitting back, going, "Okay, here we go."
Julian's like, "Any guys golf?"
Yeah, exactly.
Just looking for somebody to golf
be quite
with.
the season, and you got all these characters, and I absolutely love it. It is exactly what you need in a secondary, and I mean, just both those guys. Bud Clark, that interview was we were dying. We were doing the show on Friday, the draft show from 4 to 9 here, and it was. We couldn't get our thoughts. It was so funny. Listen to him. It was great. Julian Neal, same thing. So I couldn't be more excited about that.
So what do we learn, right? What does this tell us? I tried to go through and say, okay, if they do this, then what will we learn about kind of the way they view the team now that it's done? I mean, I have to imagine that they must like one of the veteran edge players, right, who they could sign this week. If I understand correctly, after today, if you sign a veteran free agent, you don't have to give up draft pick compensation. So before tomorrow, that would have been the rule. But after today, once you sign somebody, you don't need to worry about draft pick compensation at that point. And obviously that's important to them. They want all of these picks. They're going to have like 11 picks now next year or something like that. And so, yeah, they asked Mike and John about that. Like, hey, is that something that's on your radar screen, finding another edge player?
After Monday, you can sign free agents without it affecting the comp pick formula. Do you guys anticipate maybe adding more to the competition at the edge spot?
Yeah, we may. Yep.
Yeah. Josh said, yeah, I think we may. And of course, right? I mean, like that you lost Boye Mafe. That's the one thing you didn't change. It sure feels like the other goal here was competition at corner, competition on the offensive line.
Yeah, I think so. And, well, going back to the edge real quick,
Okay.
It's going to be a very, very experienced crew, no matter who they sign. All these edge guys that are free agents are all older guys, 15 seasons plus. You're going to join them with Nuosu. You're going to join them with DeMarcus Lawrence. So you're going to have quite the savvy veteran group on the edge. And then go back. What was the other thing you just asked?
Well, just the competition at corner and now maybe on the inside of the offensive line.
Going to, not to ignore those two positions, because, yes, so true. Like corner, you already have the guys last year that they drafted too with Mason Richmond and Gable do. And so you have tons of competition going for that one spot. So the offensive line is probably going to be the most competitive because there's really only one spot kind of up for grabs if you put it that way. But I'm even going to go to wide receiver. I didn't think that they were going to draft a guy in wide receiver.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be no chance. You have 5 guys that are pretty much guaranteed all their contracts.
And they spent a ton of money there in the offseason.
Ton of money, and they still drafted someone in the 6th round. So that just shows me that this team is built on competition. And I think that's important. I think it's important to bring a guy in here who's hungry. You drafted in the 6th round out of Kansas, the wide receiver, and he's going to be fighting for a spot. And can you do it? I don't know. It's going to take a little bit, obviously, but you do need that drive. You need people pushing these veterans that are there from behind, just saying, okay, this young rookie's here to take my spot. We got to give it. You need that.
It was always a Pete Carroll thing to compete every day. It felt like at the end, a little collapse of the Roman Empire, it was said a whole lot more than it was actually done. This feels like some actual action, some real, not just saying it, but doing it. And we'll see how this starts to play out once they get into camp in the season. Right now, let's do some Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can. Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Well, you may have already answered this. I think I know which direction you're going to go, but I'll ask you anyway because I still think it's important for a Super Bowl team coming off a Super Bowl win with designs on doing it again and playing in this division. Which of these draft picks can make the biggest immediate impact?
Well, the easy answer to this is the running back, Jadarian Price. I'm going to skip that. Okay. I think that's just too easy. First rounder, he's going to make an impact. I'm going to go with your 3rd rounder. I'm going to go Julian Neal. And I think the reason being is because they were thin. They're thin going in at this position. You didn't have a ton of competition. You knew it was Josh Jobe. You knew Devin Witherspoon. After that, it's wide open. Nehemiah Pritchett, a guy who's been there. You have Noah, the guy they signed in free agency. And then there's Julian Neal, a guy that you knew this Seahawks team fell in love with right away, right when they met him. He was on their board. They knew when they could get him, which hats off to John Schneider, not taking him in the 2nd round. They knew he would fall to the 3rd round, and they got their guy. According to this, I mean, he is the perfect replacement for Reek Woolen. Maybe not as fast, but way more physical. Going to go up, going to stop the run, going to blow up some screen plays. And you watch this guy's tape, he can shed some blocks. He's a corner that wants to tackle and wants to hit the running back in the backfield. He uses his long arms, throws guys off of him, and he wants to hit. So I think you're going to see a lot of Julian Neal, especially as you fall in love with him throughout training camp, throughout the preseason, and he'll be that guy.
God, the more I hear you say that, the more I am just struck by how different that is than Reek Woolen. And the one thing I think we knew heading into free agency is that Mike McDonald did not really want Reek Woolen back. He's not said those words, but it seemed fairly obvious, if from nothing else than just the disgust he had in that Rams game when he was like, I already know, it's 27. Like, he just seemed done with him. And this guy's got all the different attributes that Reek maybe didn't have. Yeah, I like that call. Question number 2. All right, we've been talking about these veteran free agents who can come in and play the edge. You would think that's on the radar screen, on the menu of something the Seahawks want to do. Who do you prefer? You got Fowler, you got Cam Jordan, you got Jadeveon Clowney, you got Von Miller, Kyle Van Noy, there's a few others out there. Yeah, who's your preference?
Joey Bosa's still out there. I'm going to go with, I have 2 options here I like. Well, actually, technically 3, but 2. The reason being is because they both played for McDonald before. Back in 2023, they were both with the Baltimore Ravens under McDonald's system. Not that you need some fancy system as an edge rusher. You kind of know what you're going to do. Rush the quarterback. I'm off the edge. But McDonald has some intricacies there that you have to be ready for as an edge. So you have Kyle Van Noy, right? You called him KVN. I liked it. And Jadeveon Clowney. I think those are the 2 guys that both played for the Ravens back in 2023. Both can still do it. When you look at Clowney last year, 8.5 sacks with the Cowboys, and I think that might be my number 1, and then 2 would be Kyle Van Noy. But again, both played McDonald's system. I think that's the biggest thing. Get guys you're familiar with, guys that you know, guys you can trust, and that's only the silver lining to this is if Coach McDonald actually liked them when they were at the Ravens.
Right,
you actually don't really know that.
Right, exactly. You said there's almost a third. Who was the third going to be?
My third would be Von Miller. I think there's been talk about him in the past. Last year. Getting to Seattle, he had 9 sacks last year with Washington. He played in all 17 games, showed he can do it, showed he can do it without being injured.
The sack numbers on these guys last year are pretty incredible, right? Cam Jordan had 10 plus. Yep. Fowler's been up there. I think he had 8.5, 10, something like that. I mean, really incredible the numbers those guys put up. And in this system where they get to rotate in, any of these guys could probably be effective. All right, question number 3. Any of the undrafted free agents pique your interest?
The real answer is no.
Okay, good. Great.
But if I'm going to go pick someone here, I'm going to go with the tight end out of Wisconsin. Lance Mason is his name, undrafted. And I think it's just because the tight end position, you don't have a ton of guys there. I think you have 4 of them on the roster right now. You're looking at probably someone's going to get injured. Maybe, you hope not, but there's not a ton of depth. It was a position maybe they could have picked up some depth in the draft, but didn't like what they had. So this guy, no matter what, he's going to get some opportunities. As an undrafted free agent, you're going to go, what team can I sign with that'll give me the most opportunity that I have, not the easiest path, but maybe just the best path in to get my reps, show up on special teams. And I think it might be this guy, Lance Mason from Wisconsin, just to be able to get that shot when it's all said and done.
Well, there you go. That is Blue 88 with Brian Walters today. So remind me your draft day story is.
Oh, just all craziness. I was in my apartment studying for finals.
Right.
And I was watching the draft on TV. I knew I was not going to get drafted. There was no chance of me getting drafted. I knew San Diego was the only team that showed any interest in me. But about 2 minutes after this draft ended, the last pick, 2 minutes after, I got a call from San Diego, and they said, "Hey, come on next weekend."
Who called you from there?
It was how was it?
Is it the GM or is it just like a scout or somebody you talked to?
It was the scout.
Okay.
Tom Gibbons was his name, I believe. So. Yeah. My whole career to him. He's the only one who came out to Cornell to work me out. So the only one that ever showed up during the season to go watch tape.
So they call you and you're like, yes.
They called me and I said, no, I'm holding out for more.
Yeah, I'm going to need another couple grand.
I'm going to need some more signing bonus.
Do you know Andrew Brandt's story? He tells this every year, but it's hilarious. When he was in Green Bay doing this, he was talking to some kid about coming to camp, and he's like, "Yeah, all right, signing bonus is going to be $1,000." And the kid's like, "Oh man, coach, I don't have that much. Like, I guess I can get a plane ticket, but I don't have that. I can get you 200, and I'll get you the other 800 later." And he's like, "No, we're gonna pay you." Oh, okay. Right.
I love that.
Kid was willing to pay to show up.
That's so great. You know what my signing bonus was? After California taxes, I'm going to take all the taxes out in California. And
this is what year?
This was in 2010. So it'll be my final check, my paycheck I got, taxes out and everything.
$1,400.
It was $240. That's the first NFL check I ever got was $240 from the San Diego Chargers.
Worth the pudding.
There it is.
Worth the pudding. All right. Well, it worked out. That was pretty cool. You ended up having a pretty nice career. Maybe if you'd made more at the beginning, it wouldn't have worked. You wouldn't have had that hunger.
That's true.
You wouldn't have had that determination.
That lit the fire.
You wouldn't end up here. You wouldn't have ended up in a Super Bowl. All of the things that worked out in your career. So, all right, we're going to talk some more football today. Maura has a special version of Around the NFL Draft, which we're going to do at 8:30. There is always some, weird and wild stuff going on during the draft. But I want to make sure we do talk some Mariners today. All they did is go out there and sweep. All they did is go out there and now win 4 straight. All they did is remind everybody that it had previously been early, and now it's not anymore. Well, actually, it still is, but it's next on Brock and Salk.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
I'm sure by now you've heard interviews with a whole lot of people who took the First Mark Challenge and saved so much money on their insurance and got better coverage. We call them First Mark victories. Well, I too took the First Mark Challenge and am thrilled to say that First Mark is saving my family thousands. Now that's what I call a victory. Before we got married, my husband had been with the same agent for so long, I think we just assumed that they were working hard to get us the best coverage and save us money. But it wasn't the case. And we only knew that by taking the First Mark Challenge. First Mark works for you, not the insurance carriers. First Mark will fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage, which could leave you at risk for financial loss. Then they carefully search the market, dozens of major carriers to find you the best fit. And that's it. First Mark Insurance has helped thousands of families successfully manage the complicated world of insurance and save them thousands, my family included. Be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Take the First Mark Challenge now. It's free. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
If you actually are the person that will take care of them after the fact, if you actually will be there for them, if you will pick up your phone, then they come back to you.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
The Puyallup RV Show is back April 30th through May 3rd. Explore hundreds of new and used RVs, manufactured homes, and get show-only prices. Now through April 29th, buy a ticket online, get another free. Go to PuyallupRVShow.com. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Meet the company electrifying the marine industry. ARC, a fully electric boat that feels like a luxury EV. Significantly less maintenance and service, ARC is built to be as easy to operate as it is to maintain. Featuring heated seats and seat backs, a large display, easy handling, and impressive kick. You have to see it and experience ARC for yourself. Book a demo. They'll pick you up on Lake Washington, Lake Union, or Lake Sammamish if you can't come to them in Kirkland. Go to arcboats.com/demo. ARC. You have to see it to believe it.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for Refractive Lens Exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses? K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get his freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
$240, huh? Is your first paycheck in the NFL. I did make a deep reference. You probably don't know the old show, The State. That's what I was for those people who texted in, and there were a lot of them.
Oh yeah. It's that time.
Oh, you know it's that time.
I'm Levon.
And I'm Barry, Sagittarius.
And it's time
for $240
worth of pudding.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Every time I hear the word $240, I would have to go to The State and $240 worth of pudding. That's Brian Walters is here. And I love when you come in because not only will we talk football, given that that's your background, but as a big Mariner fan, and you and I have gotten into it even on the golf course, debating Mariner stuff. So I like when you're in here to talk a little Mariners. They had a really good weekend. They needed to have a good weekend, and they did it. They hit. They pitched. Other than Brian Wu, I'm not worried about Brian Wu. If someone's going to have a bad outing, it might as well be him because I can kind of, shuck that off and just be like, all right, don't worry about that. The rest of the team pitched very well this weekend. The platoons worked for everybody out there. Where are you on the platoons? Were you one of the chorus of people mad that Luke Raley wasn't hitting lefties?
Look, when it works, I love it. When it doesn't, terrible decision. I don't know why they did that. That's the best part of a baseball fan. I think it's just easiest to go again.
But you're too smart to feel that way. You're a Cornell grad who understands how numbers work and percentages and playing the odds. And the odds say that if you do these things enough time, you got to give yourself the best opportunity to succeed.
I have a theory on this, and again, football is my specialty, not baseball. But my theory here is I kind of compare it to football. Football, you go to your individual matchup. I go against, this is the corner I'm going against. What is my history against this corner? Well, last game I played him, I had 8 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
This guy I'm really good at. It doesn't matter what it's just how I see him as there's other corners I go out there, I go, okay, this guy got me. He jammed me in the line of scrimmage, and it's just not a good matchup. So given lefty righty, I would rather see the individual stats against that particular pitcher.
The problem is, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
The problem is twofold. One, half the time there are no stats against that pitcher because you're seeing some reliever from the Cardinals who you might face, every couple of years. You face them 3 times a year. And then the other is, okay, so in 3 at-bats?
Yeah,
it's such a small sample size that reading anything into it. So instead, it would be more like them looking at you, just to take your analogy, and saying, okay, Brian's really good about this against this type of corner. right? Long, rangy guys. He's able to get inside of them and use his quickness. And, those really tall, long corners are a good matchup for him. But when you get a shorter, stout, physical guy, he can't get away from him. So you have to kind of look at it that way and see what's going to project to give you the best chance to win.
No, I get that point of view too. But I played baseball growing up in high school, and I had the Dodgers were they asked me if they drafted him if I wanted to go to college for a couple years and then go into their system and all that, and I said no right away. That doesn't compare this to Major League hitting. I'm just saying. Baseball, I've played it, and I was a switch hitter, and so I always went the righty lefty, lefty righty, righty lefty.
Oh, so you chose to hit against the opposite hand?
The opposite.
You didn't want to go lefty on lefty?
And so I never wanted to go lefty on lefty.
That's strange.
Interesting, but still, I remember there are still pitchers like when I'm hitting lefty, right-handed pitchers, I don't see the ball well. There's some righties I do see the ball well, and it's to me that's more individual matchup. It's man, I can't get a read on this pitcher for some reason, but this pitcher, whoa, the ball looks like a
and they try to play that. I mean, that is a good point. They will try to look through that, and if there are enough at bats or enough history, but when you don't, you kind of just have to play the odds. And I'm really glad to see it work this weekend. Rob Refsnyder coming up big and a couple of big hits because that's what you're paying him to do. You're literally paying him to just come in here and hit left-handed pitching, and he ends up essentially winning you the game yesterday by doing it.
Swung on, tanked, left field. This is on its way. It is gone. Goodbye, Rob Refsnyder into the Mariners bullpen, and the Mariners have taken the lead in the ninth.
Yeah, he's not leaving. It was just the ball that was leaving. We don't need to say goodbye to Rob Refsnyder. In fact, Dan Wilson pretty happy to see his guy come up big. And honestly, I'm sure the organization was because they've been taking some level of heat over these platoons. And when they work, they look a whole lot better if you're results-oriented, which eventually you got to be. It's a whole lot better when it works.
Yeah, it's huge. There's no bigger spot than that right there. And coming in against a tough lefty, and with the ABS challenge, I thought very wisely chosen at that point. Getting the count a little bit different, and then finding the count in his favor, and putting a really good swing on the pitch, and that's just a huge lift for this club, and really great to see that from Ref. His at bats have been really good, and especially of late, and to see that today from him, that's the game winner. That's huge.
Yeah, last point on this, and someone saying, Salk, you can't be this dumb. People were only upset about him being pinch hit for by Connor Joe in the 6th, not Refsnyder in the 9th. That's not true, and I appreciate you saying that, but if you were to read through our text messages every day, you would know that you're wrong. People were upset about every one of the platoons, every one of the pinch hits. I would get texts on all of it. I was also upset about the pinch hits in the 6th inning and early in games because I do think that you sometimes need to allow your lefty, not that I think it's a good matchup for him to face a lefty in the 6th, but you want it to come around later and still have options later in the game. And I said the exact same thing as we've talked through those. There are moments, though, and the 6th inning could be that moment when the game is on the line, when it's the bases loaded and you're down by a couple of runs, where you need to make a decision to say, hey, this is the game. This is where the game hinges. This is the leverage spot. And sometimes leverage is higher in the 6th inning than what you might anticipate it being later. But sometimes it's not. When there's nobody on base in the 6th inning and they bring in a lefty, you might just have to let Rayleigh hit and see what happens because you want him to come up later. You're hoping he comes up later in a more leveraged spot.
I think, too, there's part of this where I go, when I put myself in the athlete's shoes, I put myself in Rayleigh's shoes. There's going to come a time later in the season where maybe one of these righties isn't available and you have to hit that lefty, but if you don't get those reps at some point during the season, I think that's the problem there too, because you almost surprise yourself. You go up there, wow, I'm hitting against a lefty. This is really weird. I'm not used to this. But you kind of want your guys to get those reps a little bit. And again, I'm not knocking Dan Wilson. They have their strategy, they're sticking to it. That's what I appreciate the most about all this is that they've made that. This is a call they make into the game.
But then those moments you're talking about have to come in low leverage spots so that you're bigger, you get the best opportunity. Yep. In the meantime, this is why we say not to judge any small sample of baseball games, right? Because you're a series away from just completely changing your fortunes. Not even a week ago, we're all sitting here in panic mode, and here you go today. And we've seen this now so many. Doesn't matter how many times we see it, we end up immediately getting right to that point of panic because of what you're seeing right in front of you, and it's hard to remember that these things change. And all of a sudden, Cal's hot again, and he's on a home run tear, and he's now hit 6 home runs this month, and if he hits 1 or 2 more in Minnesota, you're going to be like, oh, Cal's right there and hitting 7, 8 home runs in a month again. You see Julio, who's come alive. And really, after the first week of the season, since then, this has been the best start of Julio's career. This is by far the best April he's had in forever. You're seeing Josh Naylor. I know he got hurt on Saturday, but you're starting to see the Josh Naylor that you were expecting to see. And honestly, just the depth and completeness of the lineup, I think Saturday was a good example. Just coming at you in so many different ways. And I think that is, I think, the secret sauce for this team. It's obviously 2, 3, 4, but then finding different ways to come at you every night.
I think, yeah, exactly. And this is one of the most complete lineups the Mariners we've seen in a long, long time. And we knew that going into the season. Now, there's 2 things for me. One, it's the big 3. It's the Cal, Julio, Naylor.
Sure.
And boom, this weekend's a perfect example. You win when they hit. They each had a home run in each game. One, I think Naylor hit in the first one, Julio the second, Raleigh the third, Cal the third. So, boom, those guys are getting over the fence. You need that because that was a rough start. And 2, this team, this is what's most impressive about this series. Man, they had an 8-game road losing streak going into this game. 8 games. They had won 1 game the entire season on the road. And they go against a Cardinals team that was, 14-10, I believe, going into the series.
Yeah, they played some pretty good ball.
Played some good ball, and they end up I didn't see that one coming. So that shows what this team's all about, I guess, and where they can be, and that we're not wrong for thinking that.
All right. Well, that's why you don't judge for any 3. And by the way, I'm not judging based on this 3-game sample either, because they go into Minnesota and get rocked. We're going to wait and continue to monitor. And by the time you get into late May, I think we'll have a better idea as to who this team is. And even then, things just change on a dime. It's really amazing how baseball can work that way as guys get hot and cold. All right, back to the football here at 8:30 as Maura is going to take us through the NFL draft. Shannon is going to join us a little bit later at 9:30, so there's more baseball on the docket as well. Stick around. We got a lot more to come on Brock and Salk.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place with People Come First.
When you head to your local Toyota dealer to purchase a new car, ask them this question. Do you offer a lifetime powertrain warranty? If the answer is no, then visit Toyota of Kirkland if you're in the north or Toyota of Renton if you're in the south. Both stores protect your vehicles for life with powertrain warranties on all Toyota models outside of the BZ. Not all Toyota dealers are built the same. Head to toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com and receive a lifetime powertrain warranty on your next Toyota.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I spoke with Dr. Meyer, the medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, and Dr. Meyer said Swedish CyberKnife patients are really satisfied with their experience. They report very few side effects, and they're seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later. To learn more, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or call 206-320-7187.
Cyberknife is a registered trademark of
to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's Dan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th. So text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates may apply.
Mariners and Twins tonight in Minneapolis. First pitch at 4:40, 3:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
This baseball season, Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. John Curley here. Get the price of a new heating and AC system in just 60 seconds on your phone with no pressure, no waiting. Just a few questions and you get a winning personalized price. That's a home run. And if your system is over 12 years old, it could be costing you up to 20% more or could soon fail. Score a personalized price for a new system in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Are you interested in investing in real estate in the greater Seattle market, but don't want to manage properties, develop real estate, or sign on debt? Hi, it's Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital, based in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 15 years. We've had 0 investor losses and have averaged double-digit returns since inception. Find out why over 800 local investors have invested over $200 million in our Legacy family of funds. Legacy Northwest Fund returned over 12% in both 2007 and 2008. Are you looking at diversification opportunities, especially with what's happening in the market this year? Get in touch with us today. Legacy's family of funds has a limited opening for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or legacyg.com. That's legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investment performance based on average return of LOF1, LOF2, and LSF from 2007 through the date of calculation and after deduction of fees and expenses. Legacy family of funds investments are available to accredited investors only.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, it's fun when your baseball team is winning, and the Mariners are doing that now. 4 straight. It started with that win over the A's. Then they went out on the road where they had struggled. Remember, 1-8 starting off this road trip. And now that number has changed to 4-8 because they have a 3-game sweep in St. Louis. It's exactly what they needed. Big offensive explosion, especially Saturday. They scored 17 runs in general, 11 of them in that thriller.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a sigh of relief more than it is just, what we've been waiting for. And so I think, now we can continue to go to work and put together our good at-bats. And, we got the ability to drive the ball at the ballpark. We saw that today. But we also have, we're also going to get you in a lot of different ways. And today was really another good example of that. A lot of getting traffic on, but getting them in, getting them over, doing what we had to do to score runs, and some big hits today.
I would say the home runs helped quite a bit. Also, football, Brian, you kind of are what your record says you are. In baseball, especially in April, you're not necessarily what your record says you are. You're, in some capacity, what your numbers and history and projection says you're going to be, in addition to what your record says you are.
How far into the season do you think you have to be in baseball to where your record actually tells you what you are? What do you think? Is that All-Star break?
You know what's bizarre?
Yeah.
You could make a case never.
Never. Yeah, you could.
Like
August, maybe.
Literally
August.
never. I mean, obviously by the end of the year, it is what it is. But Yeah, I think in some cases it's a little easier than others. Lyle and I were just talking in the break there about the Braves last year coming in with huge expectations and a lot of great players on that team, and they just never got it going. They were awful last year. They didn't even make the playoffs last year, right? They just weren't good. This year, they're the hottest team in baseball. They're the best record in the league right now. What were they, first to 20 wins? Right? They've been essentially the best team in baseball in the first month of the season. They're not that appreciably different, but it's clicking the way it's supposed to this year. The Phillies, last year, one of the better teams in baseball, gigantic payroll. Right now, they've lost 11 of 12. Does that mean the Phillies are bad? They're bad right now, but I don't know if it means they're going to be a bad team. You got something to add in there?
My answer to this is always Memorial Day. That's when you start to get your real glimpse.
I mean, a glimpse, but you feel like on Memorial Day,
I mean, you start to have a good idea. You start targeting guys you might like at the deadline.
While you declared the season over last year in August.
And at the end of May, they weren't playing well.
Just keeping receipts, Lyle.
But then they ended up going to the ALCS. Like, that's my point.
The roster significantly changed from the end of May till end of August.
All right. Understood. Thank you.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
You, man. They do, by the way, get to 14 and 15. A series win in Minnesota now would get them to 500 or better for the month of April and March. John Schneider and the Seahawks just adding picks, man. They started with 4. They ended up with 8 when it was all said and done. So they doubled their number of picks and got guys that I think they really like.
Yeah, great day. Added 2 Seahawks, like through and through guys, like competitors, athletes, tough. Just great job by Josh and Ryan, like really getting to know the people, the competitors, and it was a fun day. And we were able to make a trade, so we give Pittsburgh a lot of credit for doing a great job and working with us. We had a number of can't wait to give these guys crud. We had a number of teams kind of go away on us, but. Anyway, yeah, no, it was a great day.
He did seem frustrated that he wasn't able to make more moves earlier, but okay, what are you going to do? Instead, they end up with a couple of defensive backs on Friday. It starts with a safety out of TCU, and it sounds like we're going to talk to his coach on Wednesday, Sonny Dykes. But let me play you a little sound from Bud Clark. Let's see, here he was. He was talking about who he modeled his game after.
Yeah, Cam Chancellor, of course, because he's always about the pop, and I feel like he was the hammer, not the nail, and that's what I try to do all the time I play.
Love that.
Pretty good guy to mold your game after.
Great guy to mold your game after. Now he's not quite the stature that Cam Chancellor is.
You are,
but I'll take it. I'll take it for that. And one thing I got to give John Schneider a lot of props here, because if you were told me they would have taken this draft and turned it into 8 picks. And they did not, and without using their first-round pick, I'd have said you're crazy. I thought that would have been the most lever. You get 2 or 3 out of that first-round pick moving back. They did it, kept his first-round pick, did it with some of the later-round picks, moved back a total of 14 spots to get 3 extra picks. I think that's a pretty masterclass by the Seahawks organization.
Well, one of those is Julian Neal. You've mentioned him now a few times, said he could have an immediate impact as a corner. Coming out of Arkansas, he was asked whether he was surprised to be coming here.
It wasn't a surprise at all. After that meeting at the Combine, Larry and the assistant head coach told me, you most likely going to get picked by the Seahawks, Julian Neal. He told me that to my face, and I believed in him, and they believed in me. And they believed in me. We going back to back this year.
By the way, Larry is apparently code word for Leslie Frazier, so don't worry about it. Julian Neal's a bit of a character.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
And then on Saturday, they went, a lot of special teams and a little bit of size. So Bo Stevens is a guard out of Iowa.
You're going to get them all in the run game. Technical in the pass game. Love going to hit. I'm not one to shy away from contact for sure, but just more of that, more overall, just a professional person. A person that takes things seriously, and a guy that's from Iowa who's always considered an underdog. Always has that chip on their shoulder. There's never the hay's never in the barn, is what Coach Barrett says. That's just the kind of mentality Iowa culture has, and what I've kind of embodied.
We're going to have to talk about that. The Haze at the Barn at the end of every one of these shows. And also Maura will tell you that not everyone in Iowa is, you know, she's kind of an Iowa person. It's where she goes on her vacations.
What? I went to Iowa one time and they won't let it go. By the way, did you see that Brock did a draft profile on Iowa center, Logan Jones?
I remember that.
He ended up being the Mr. 57, winning the lifetime supply of ketchup.
Oh, what an incredible reward.
How about that?
Do you think he's more excited about that or being one of Brock's profiles?
Probably Brock's profile.
What do you make of Devin Eastern? He's the other guy I was sort of intrigued by. He's the big nose tackle they took in the 7th round out of Minnesota. Wide body.
Wide.
Yeah.
315, 6'5". A little different build than your what other guys you got in there, Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams. He is tall and big.
He's wide. I'm just looking at him like it. It's a great picture of him.
6'5", though.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, I'm actually a little excited for those Iowa guys. Those guys are built different.
Yeah.
Bo Stevens, yeah, and just how many? I should have looked this up. How many Iowa linemen were drafted this year? 3?
At least.
I believe it was.
I think
3.
all 3 interior guys. I'm not sure about the 2 tackles, but yeah.
They breed them different. I've never been to Iowa actually. I need to check that off the list of states.
Not really.
Need to check it off.
I mean, Maura likes some of the great beaches there that she will attend.
Beautiful beaches. I've heard that too.
That's everything you need to know. 4:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. I've driven through Iowa a number of times.
Have you?
I have.
Going from where to where?
Boston to Los Angeles and Los Angeles to Boston.
Jeez.
Yeah. Not a lot there. It's pretty boring.
A lot of cornfields.
You kind of just it looks a lot like Nebraska.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like Kansas. It looks a lot like Colorado once you get past Denver. Like, it's really not a lot of difference there.
I got to do it,
Indiana.
though. I got to do it. I got to get there.
Parts
I got
of
to check
Illinois.
Yep.
Like, you go through that area, man, it sucks. There's just nothing there at all. You just drive forever. It's terrible.
Well,
all right.
There's some good offensive linemen there. How about that?
That is the one thing. And you can see them as you're driving. You're just driving. You're like, oh, look, there's a guard. I think I see a center over there. Maura, it's time to go around the NFL draft. It was a fun weekend, a busy weekend, and not just from a Seahawks perspective. There was some weird stuff. The first story in Maura's around the draft is like, it's either really cool or absolutely horrific. I'm not entirely sure what to think, but it's next on Brock and Salk.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Hey, Mike Salk here. I don't know what you've been thinking about. Maybe GLP-1 injections for weight loss? If so, I think you got to ask some questions, okay? Don't just jump right into that. Are you ready to spend $3,000 to $5,000 a year and then stay on that medication long-term just to maintain the results? Yeah, you got to think about that, right? A lot of these prescription weight loss injections require weekly shots. And then when you stop taking the medicine, then you regain a lot of the weight. It's very common. Well, most people don't realize the research also shows a significant portion of the weight loss is really just muscle. Well, you're not looking to lose muscle, right? That slows your metabolism, and then you regain the weight even faster. So, look, this is why I talk about Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. They take a totally different approach, doctor-developed. It helps men and women lose 20, 30 pounds or more in just 60 days without injections, without synthetic hormones, with no long-term dependence. It's real food that you buy at the grocery store. So come to the clinic in Kirkland, or you can do the program really from anywhere you live. They got great remote options. Schedule your free phone consultation. You could do it online right now by going to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. If you're looking for a safe, affordable alternative to those weight loss injections, go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com to keep the weight off for good. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Hey guys, Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. Still here helping men with ED and Peyronie's disease in 2026. Our clinics have helped thousands of men in the last 8 years just like you. Most guys tell me that in their early 50s, they started using Viagra. It worked for 3 or 4 years and then tapered off. That's because Viagra is not a curative medication. It's a short-term solution. Our wave therapy breaks down the plaque in the arteries and increases blood flow without using any medication, with proven long-lasting results. Our treatments are so successful that we have some men driving up to 5 hours just to get treated every week, and our 4.9 average star rating on Google proves it. So whether it's ED, Peyronie's disease, or low testosterone, West Coast Men's Health has the answers you're looking for.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy. Call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Don't miss the Puyallup RV Show, April 30th through May 3rd. Explore hundreds of new and used RVs, manufactured homes, and take advantage of overstocked local dealers offering huge discounts. Tickets at PuyallupRVShow.com, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello, Seattle. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America and a member of FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Mariners and Twins tonight in Minneapolis. First pitch at 4:40, 3:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. I spoke with Dr. Meyer, the medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, and Dr. Meyer said Swedish CyberKnife patients are really satisfied with their experience. They report very few side effects, and they're seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later. To learn more, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or call 206-320-7187.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready to create your home wellness retreat? Whether you love a relaxing session in infrared or traditional steam heat, we have the perfect Hilo sauna waiting for you. Up your wellness game by building your own contrast therapy studio, featuring a new sauna and our amazing Vigor Cold Plunge. Buy both and save up to $5,000. Savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Brian Walters here, and we're talking a lot of draft. Shannon's going to join us, though, in an hour. We'll talk some baseball with Shannon Drayer. Mariners coming off a great sweep this weekend in St. Louis and now off to Minnesota for a 3-gamer there. I mean, you know, even if you can just, we said we wanted them to go 4-2 on this road trip. That was the hope. They've already won 3. I mean, you got a really good opportunity now, and I think the new expectation is go 5-1. right? Win the series in Minnesota, go 5-1. You do that, you finish April with a 500 record. Considering all the hand-wringing, all the consternation, all the conversations and some level of panic, finish at 500. We kind of went through these numbers the other day. Like, yeah, really good teams that make the playoffs often finish at 500 in April. You don't want to be 5 games below 500. And if they'd gone out here and like gone 2-4 on this road trip, I think you could start to have some actual questions like, hey, can you bounce back from this? They can end up being a 500 or better when this thing is all said and done here at the end of April. So really good spot. The Mariners are in, and the Seahawks, of course, making moves to affect not just their long-term future, but Brian, I think you make a good point that in many ways this affects their short-term future.
Hey, absolutely. Look, think about the guys you had to replace. When you think about your main position groups, you had to get something at running back, and not necessarily injuries are hurting you there, absolutely, with Charbonnet, but you had to do something there.
Mm-hmm.
They did it with the draft. They addressed it. You had to do something at safety. You had to bring someone in there to really fill that Kobe Bryant role. And I know the Seahawks don't like to say they're replacing guys, but technically they really are.
Well, you can't. I mean, you can't say that. Like, hey, why'd you get this guy? Well, he's here to replace Kobe Bryant. We're just going to hand him the job and off he goes. Like, you're not going to say that.
They are. They absolutely are. I mean, you look at exactly the type of player they've gotten. They are. They are replacing them. And you got Bud Clark, who just watch him. Watch him on film. It is so fun to watch him. He is all over the place.
Nice.
The way he reads the ball. And then again, Julian, I'm more excited about him, I think, than anybody, just because. So no, it was definitely replacement draft.
A replacement draft.
Replacement draft.
All right. Well,
that?
So that I called it workmanlike. You go replacement. I think I understand the idea in both. That's what was going on here in Seattle. But what about just around the league in general? Maura, could you take us around the NFL draft?
Of course.
Thank you.
Let's see. First up, this one that you referred to before the break.
Hold on, shout out to Maura. Maura worked so much harder than anybody else did this weekend. I'm not even
Shout out
joking.
Maura.
Maura worked a lot harder than I did this weekend. I just want to say thank you.
No problem.
I know she worked harder than Lyle. Lyle didn't do anything.
Well, Lyle's normally at the ballpark every weekend when the Mariners are here. So
They weren't here.
I know, so I'm saying he deserves a
Were you
break.
sleeping all weekend, Lyle? Or did you work hard?
No, we had stuff to do.
All right. Did you work as hard as Maura?
Oh my gosh.
I wish you all would have seen the eyes that Lyle just gave Salk right there. That was classic.
I have been picking on Lyle more recently, but it's out of love. Do you think you worked harder than Maura?
How would I know that? I didn't watch her cut all the sound.
Oh.
Let's just go with no.
Smart.
It's not hard. It's just tedious. It's just hours of sitting there cutting sound.
Yeah. All right, what do you got for us?
Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti apparently pulled rank. Like when I first heard this story, their GM Eric DeCosta said their owner made a pick. I thought they meant he let them call the draft pick. But that's not the case. Apparently he actually selected a player for them.
Adam Randall's an interesting pick. I think it is. You'll probably see the video at some point. It's the first draft pick that Steve Bisciotti has ever made. So, when we were down in Florida, Steve was begging for a draft pick, and he owns the team. I said, yes, Steve. And so, of course, you can have a draft pick. And so we decided on our last fifth-round pick. He did his research. He studied the tape, talked to people. He's got a really good relationship with the Clemson head coach. And Adam's a guy, as a former wideout, he's got a varied skill set. He does a lot of different things well. We think the best is yet to come with him as a running back. He's got really good hands. He can run routes. He's a possible kick returner, special teams guy. He's got a great body.
What?
I mean, the Seahawks drafted Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, Reek Woolen in the 5th round. It's not like they let him do like the very last pick of the draft even.
Seventh round pick might be, that's where you go after Obum Watcham. Or what was the guy? He was actually probably here when you were here that John drafted that could jump forever. Jamison Kontz. Were you around him?
The tight end, right?
K-O-N-Z.
He's the tight end?
Yeah.
Yes, I was right. Yeah, that's right.
John
That's a
drafted in the
throwback
7th
for me.
round. He's like, this guy jumped like 900 inches. Or like there was
Great
some
guy,
ridiculous thing. But a 5th round pick, you're just letting your owner. How do you feel about that?
I'm always against letting ownership get involved in the football operations. I think you hire the people that put the work in all year long, to go make those choices for you. And when owners get involved, I don't think it's ever a good thing.
It does feel like a vanity exercise. I think that's the problem there. Look, I mean, the Cowboys owner makes every one of their picks, and look where that's turned out. Not exactly great for the last 30-plus years. So, I mean, that's probably the biggest negative example you could come up with. But I think it just, even if it happened, I would not let this come out. I think that's the problem, and that probably shows that the owner doesn't understand what fans want and how they view owners in general. They want you to provide the money. They want you to provide the atmosphere and the identity of the team and make sure that you've got the top of everything and all that. They want you to set the direction. If you're doing this, it feels like you're not taking it seriously enough. I think that's the biggest problem there.
Yeah, I agree. You're just saying, all right, what's a 5th-round pick to this squad, to this team? You know, you go do it. And you know what I don't like? It's kind of a little flag here is the fact that he has a relationship with Clemson's head coach, and then he picked a guy from Clemson. To me, it's like there's not much. Yeah. He's not going out and scouting everyone else. He's just kind of getting word from who he knows, who he has a good friends with, and he's picking that guy. And
I think Bill
don't
Belichick
like
did that with Nick Saban for like 10 years.
Yeah,
He'd just take somebody say, hey, Nick, who do you like? Kevin Falk? All right, I got him.
It might be different. Bama and Ohio State.
Maybe a little different.
Maybe a little bit.
I mean, they also, he brought Nick Saban up on his coaching staff. At least there's a personal relationship there where you trust that person has your best interest. But I also remember I read a book where a writer followed the Jets for the entire season back when Mark Sanchez was there. It was called Low Collision Crossers, I think. But they were astounded that Rex Ryan, I think their last pick in that draft, drafted a guy just because he was like Mark Sanchez's friend from his college team. He's like, I went and got you your receiver, buddy. See how much I love you? And he said the scouts were really upset about it because even those last picks, they put so much work into this.
Yeah.
And for the owner to steal one of those, I can't imagine that going over well.
It's kind of showed up with the Rams too. Didn't Les Snead have a relationship with Ty Simpson's dad?
Well, that whole thing is just
crazy.
A disaster.
I'm sure we'll get into
I've got some follow-up.
We spent
on
a lot of
that
time on Friday.
Although if the owner's making this decision, I wouldn't be shocked if it's the same owner that said we need Diego Pavia on our practice squad. I mean, this guy. I mean, he probably doesn't deserve that much breath because he's an undrafted free agent. But
he's the guy who's walking around with his brothers, right, to the Heisman ceremony and all that, right?
Yeah, and he's just made a laughing stock out of himself.
Yeah,
all throughout the college football season. Yeah. And honest, I mean, well, he put something on his story, but I couldn't tell if it was fake or not.
So you're gonna not go down that road?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, more. What else we got here?
All right. Well, yeah, as Brian referenced there was some drama with the Rams last week. We played this a bunch on Friday. Sean McVay really just not being able to say anything great about Ty Simpson at all.
Yeah, there was a lot of players that we liked, but when you do look at it, I think the thing you liked about the body of work is, let's make one thing clear. This is Matthew's team.
Goes to talk about Ty Simpson. He goes right back to Matt Stafford. He named every other quarterback on the team.
I'm never going to get tired of that.
I know. And then the draft call to him was bad. So Sean McVay responded to everyone thinking that he hated the Ty Simpson pick, and I don't know if he made it better.
Well, there was some other things I was grumpy about that, you just navigate normally. But I think the main thing, Kyle, was you just wanted to make sure that I would have been stoic by nature anyways, just based on the respect for Matthew, because it's a unique situation. You get a chance to be able to, take a player that you like at a really important position, but you don't want it to be minimized or misunderstood in terms of what this means in terms of our investment and our commitment to Matthew for as long as he wants to continue to play. And so you're kind of teetering that line, and clearly, I came off a little grumpier than normal.
It's not Matthew's moment. It's Ty Simpson's moment, and if you are making that decision, then Matthew Stafford has to deal with it.
McVay said something in that interview as well that I actually liked, and he said that Matthew Stafford doesn't know the Rams anything. I mean, Matthew threatened to retire last year. Remember this? And so that's where I can understand this pick for the Rams too. Is it's the fact that Matthew Stafford might be gone after this year, and you're going to leave the Rams hanging, no quarterback. So they got to prepare for the future a little bit.
That is true, and it doesn't mean that Sean McVay feels that way, right? Like I understand what you're saying. Brett Favre used to threaten to retire, so eventually the Packers were like, fine, we're going to draft Aaron Rodgers. Like, you can't threaten to do this every year and not expect us to protect ourselves. Right. Then Aaron Rodgers essentially quit on his team in the NFC Championship against the Niners, decided he didn't want to go after balls on the ground or anything else, was laughing and walked away as his team got destroyed. He started thinking about whether or not he wanted to be there long term, and guess what the Packers had to do? Draft Love, because you can't just sit around and wait forever. You're right. Once you bring up that R word, retirement, the team needs to start protecting itself. All that being said, it puts Sean McVay in a terrible bind right now because I don't know that he wants to be here long term either.
That's true. And I bet you there was a wide receiver available right then.
How about a tight end? They could have taken Kenyon Sadiq. By the way, they ended up taking a tight end in the second round.
Yeah, here's what ESPN draft analyst Jordan Reed had to say about that.
If you're going to take him in round 2, why not take Kenyon Sadiq in the first round?
Because you got a great quarterback.
But when is that quarterback going to play? In 2028 at the earliest? Why not go ahead and get your weapon in Kenyon Sadiq? I just don't understand. And I mean, I like Max Clare. I just would rather take, and that's no knock against Ty Simpson. if you're going to take a tight end, why not take Kenyon Sadiq in the first round as opposed to Max Clare in the second round? And Clare's a good player. He's my 4th ranked tight end, but I just didn't like the order that they selected the players.
I agree with each part of that. I do understand the idea that you've got to protect yourself. He said that the thing he liked most about Ty Simpson was that this is still Matthew Stafford's team.
Well, let's see if Matthew Stafford's been any more welcoming to Ty Simpson. Has he heard from him yet?
I have not. Kelly has actually texted me on Instagram and has, welcomed me, told her to, hit her up with my family. She, we ever need anything. But I can't wait to talk to Matthew. I mean, I'm super ecstatic because I just want to pick his brain about everything, soak up all that knowledge. Like, that dude is, how he goes about things is, super, super awesome. And, I've been a big fan for a long time.
I mean,
his wife reached out.
That's the craziest part of this to me is that Matthew Stafford did not reach out to him.
Really?
That's
He's
a given.
Pissed himself.
Absolutely, and that's an issue. That's an issue if you're the right. You got a guy that is supposed to teach this guy how to be a pro, how to be the next Rams quarterback.
Is he though? Is that really his job?
Yeah.
Is that what Brett Favre did for Aaron Rodgers? Is that what Rodgers did for Love?
I bet you don't think Aaron Rodgers learned anything from Brett Favre?
He seemed to learn how to make a spectacle of himself.
Yeah, but he also became one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, too. So there's something to I think it's the perfect formula if everyone's bought in. But right now, Matthew Stafford's not bought into
that. Meanwhile, this is Lyle's favorite story of the day. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan were asked about their lack of success in the draft recently and why they keep reaching by Lyle's guy, Grant Cohn.
Who asked these questions?
Grant Cohn, of course.
I think that part is relevant. Noted thorn in the Niners' side, Grant Cohn.
John, your draft board seems to deviate quite a bit from the consensus. Why are you confident with that, given your track record drafting the last few years? It seems like it leads to you making reaches.
Well, I appreciate that you think that. Depends whose consensus. We got consensus in this building. That's the consensus I care about.
I appreciate that you think that.
Oh, he was going off on picks that the Niners were reaching for all weekend. Like after every pick, there's a video and then another video and then another video just being like, reach, what are they doing? Can I play one more piece of Grant Cohn sound while we're at it?
Yeah, because I got a question for you. Go ahead.
I don't even know which pick this was about, but it was a pick from this past weekend, and the sound is so hilarious that I just got to play it.
Also, the Niners made a point to say that he played quarterback in 7th grade. Why would you tell us that? Why does anyone need to know what anyone did in 7th grade? They really said that he transitioned positions from quarterback to wide receiver in 7th grade? Or was he watching SpongeBob one morning and decided he didn't want to play quarterback anymore?
You just like the SpongeBob reference, Lyle. All right.
The whole thing was great.
So I appreciate all of those draft reactions. Totally appropriate. And I think the whole Grant Cohn thing is very funny. How do you feel about asking a question like that in the press conference? Not the question, but what kind of comes after the question.
Oh, I mean, it's crazy, but
they credential him. Like, they allow him. He stands in their tunnel and talks crap about them, and they allow him to be there.
Again, it's crazy. I don't think I'd do that, but I mean, he does it all the time.
I think the first part of it's totally legit. Why? Can you play me the first clip again? And pause it.
John, your draft board seems to deviate quite a bit from the consensus.
Okay, right there, that part, totally fair, right? Why does your draft board seem different than everybody else's? I think that is a very legitimate, fair question that a reporter should ask. The next part feels like there's a bit of an agenda.
Sorry, I stopped it instead of pause it. We'll have to start.
John, your draft board seems to deviate quite a bit from the consensus. Why are you confident with that, given your track record drafting the last few years? It seems like it leads to you making reaches.
That you're not doing a radio show or a podcast with.
Down, we played in the offseason because I don't know if you remember, but Bills owner Terry Pagula, after they fired Sean McDermott, basically threw him under the bus and said that Brandon Beane, their GM, never wanted to draft Keon Coleman because that's been a pick they were criticized for.
Right.
He was pressured into it.
Yeah, can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
At the time, Salk, you were like, I said, I can't believe they would talk about a player on their current roster like that. What are players that are going to come there think? You said, he won't be on their roster. Well, he is. And they said after the draft, Brandon Beane said, we had some people connect with us in Indy, at least one team there and a couple between there that were interested in Keon Coleman, but we shut those down. Our intention is for Keon to be here. And so I think the word was kind of out. So no calls this weekend. We've hit the reset button with him, and hopefully the fan base and everyone's behind him. I think this is his best year is yet to come in 2026.
Okay.
That was the first thing I looked at. Did I miss something? Is Keon Coleman not on the Bills anymore?
Yeah, no, he's still there.
And there he is.
Yeah.
God, I couldn't imagine that. If I was a player, come out and say that, no, I'd be requesting that trade.
If the owner said that about you, of course, yes. It was awful.
Also, a bunch of, because they were being filmed during that draft, a bunch of stuff, and the combine scouting, a bunch of stuff emerged where Brandon Beane seemed pretty excited about Keon Coleman, so I don't even think it's true.
He and Steve Bisciotti can go hang out and mess up their teams together.
Did he just say that unprompted?
Yes.
He just said, hey, hold on.
Cut everyone off.
The tone of the draft was basically, why did you fire Sean McDermott and not Brandon Beane? So the owner was like trying to defend his honor.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah, it got ugly. They really mishandled things for a few days there after that. And people were wondering why they promoted from within their offensive coordinator instead of cleaning house. So they mishandled it all. I got one last one here for you. Another Division I. The Cardinals needed a quarterback. They were headed into the season with Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett as their starters after parting ways with Kyler Murray. So they turned to Miami quarterback Carson Beck in the third round of the draft. What can they expect from him? Well, ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum thinks that he could be the day one starter.
What I like about Carson Beck there is his frame, his size. He can make all the throws, and he has some things to clean up. That's what we have coaches for, and I think Mike LaFleur can do that. And if you think about Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza guys, in this day and age where you could bet on anything and everything, I would think that Carson Beck has the highest chance of being the first quarterback to play in 2026 of all the quarterbacks drafted so far.
Is that because of Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew?
Yeah, versus Kirk Cousins and certainly, Matt Stafford. So of those three situations, I wouldn't be surprised if Carson Beck was a day one starter.
I mean, why not? They don't have any. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is a career backup who was better than Kyler Murray, but whatever. Gardner Minshew's not an NFL starter. Why wouldn't this guy end up as a possibility to be the starter on the opening game?
You really think Kirk Cousins is going to start over Mendoza, though?
No.
I don't see that.
No, but this one?
Well, this one absolutely, but he said could be the first starter out of all the first 3 quarterbacks.
Oh, well, fair enough. Yeah, Mendoza's going to start.
Yeah, Mendoza is guaranteed to be that starter.
Yeah.
So I don't see that. But,
that part, yes.
And this one is just, I mean, to me, it's the lack of Arizona's not a good team.
No, Cardinals going to Cardinal.
They are not a good team.
But at least they got a running back who's really expensive.
Very expensive. Was it $51 million? Is that what it is?
It's more guaranteed money than any running back in history.
It's just
for a team that can't do anything else right. Ugh.
You know, if he becomes that Bijan Robinson type, then good for them. But man,
also, I really think Carson Beck is not good at all.
He's not. Yeah, he definitely has his moments where he's awful, but he does have a good arm. I will give him that. So if he can put it together, which he doesn't really have a good quarterback to learn from, so that's not an ideal situation.
Thank you, Maura, for a nice trip around the draft. What'd you make of Russ? Did you see the at-bat for the Savannah Bananas this weekend?
I want to see this.
Oh, he had a pretty, ground ball to second, but he hits a nice swing. You got to say it. You got to give Russ credit. Dude's got a nice swing.
Ground ball to second?
He hit like a hard ground ball to second.
Little Oppo? He's right.
Yeah, he was a little behind it.
I need to see this.
Yeah, we'll take a look here in the break. That's Brian Walters in hanging out today. We got another hour to go. We'll talk baseball, not just Savannah Bananas at 9 o'clock or at 9:30 rather with Shannon. And then I heard something yesterday that just kind of got my wheels spinning a little bit, so I thought maybe we'd come back to it real quick. It's next on Brock and Salk.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
The chartered plane to Queen Charlotte Lodge is on the runway, and you're not going to want to miss it. This summer has limited availability for king salmon, halibut, and lingcod fishing in beautiful Haida Gwaii, British Columbia. Queen Charlotte Lodge is absolutely the place to be. A luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, dad, or son. Book your stay at fishqcl.com, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience fishing first class. And remember, our dollar's worth $1.35 north of the border.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 25% off windows and doors or 12 months, no payments, and no interest. And we're giving back with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
When you head to your local Toyota dealer to purchase a new car, ask them this question. Do you offer a lifetime powertrain warranty? If the answer is no, then visit Toyota of Kirkland if you're in the north or Toyota of Renton if you're in the south. Both stores protect your vehicles for life with powertrain warranties on all Toyota models outside of the BZ. Not all Toyota dealers are built the same. Head to ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com and receive a lifetime powertrain warranty on your next Toyota.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
The throw to first, and it's in time. Holy smokes, what a play by
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first baseline, a.k.a. Trident Town. Post up behind the Mariners dugout, and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work.
Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, blew it by and strike 3.
Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
And it's gone! Julio!
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
With Mariners value games, you can score seats for less than $12 on select dates all season long, including the upcoming series against the Braves, Monday, May 4th through Wednesday, May 6th. Go to mariners.com/value to get your tickets and check out the full slate of value options, featuring the biggest ever Mariners value menu available every game.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Evan Cohen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app, share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
I think the biggest takeaway from the second and third round, day 2 of the NFL draft for the Seahawks, was just the confidence of the two players. And we've spent a lot of time today playing their sound, and you've probably heard it from both these two defensive backs. They have a lot of confidence. They come in rip-roaring, ready to go. They say they're physical. They say they can hit. They're going to change the world. They're going to go to back-to-back Super Bowls. I mean, like, they are. The confidence is obviously a big part of it. John Schneider heard that Julian Neal said they were going to go back-to-back, and this was his reaction.
What did you say?
He said we're going to go back to back.
Julian said that? Wow. We'll talk to him about messages. Maybe it was the wrong scouting report. No kidding. He's a confident sucker.
He sure is. He's a confident sucker. I've got the sense John maybe wanted to use a different word that maybe rhymes with that, but decided to keep it PG for the folks that were at the conference call. But like, this was by design, right? They didn't want guys that were look. Here's Mike McDonald. They got guys that were confident.
Yeah, I think it's just, again, it speaks to just like the alignment with our people and the things we're looking for, but. You don't have to be like that, to be one of us, and for us to want you here. I think it's, but it's cool that it's worked out that way, and we got great. Like I said, I think it was day 1. Like, we had great competition on our team, and we have a lot of depth, and be able to add some extra pieces later in the draft is going to be really fun to sort that out as the process kind of unfolds.
I'm going to play one more cut from Mike in a minute, but Brian, take me back to your career as a player in the NFL. How big a role does confidence play in success?
That role plays everything in success. When you were rolling, you had confidence in yourself, the game slowed down. And I think that's the big thing. So what you hear from these guys is huge. And here's my biggest take from this is, remember before the draft, McDonald and Schneider both said, we need guys that aren't going to be intimidated by coming in and playing with the Devin Witherspoon. The guys that want to challenge them, are confident in themselves that they're fighting for that spot. They're trying to still take his job no matter who he is. That's what you get from this. That's what you get from the sounds of these guys talking.
Yeah.
That those are guys that are that they believe that they're probably better than Devin Witherspoon, better than Eamon Warwick, better than those guys, and can take their spots. And are they? Hope so.
Did you go into it to your career feeling confident? I mean, so you're an undrafted guy. You get $240 worth of pudding to go down to San Diego. Do you come in with any form of confidence?
No.
Or do you have to fake it? Like, how does that work?
It's a big, you're faking it. But no, undrafted out of Cornell, no, there was zero confidence that basically it's the attention that you get as well. So when I go in there, coaches aren't meeting me at the door. Quarterbacks aren't coming up to me, hey, come watch this film with it. You're kind of just on your own, doing your thing and trying to make an impact somehow, trying to get noticed some way, somehow. So the confidence, that comes with plays. That comes with making plays, showing, like me, the first time I ever made a catch in practice or something like that. That's when you first start, okay, all right, this isn't that much different than Ivy League football. Like, this is fine. We can do this.
Right.
I can do this. And then it starts building and building. You start getting better and better. Then you start turning heads. And I think that's the most important thing. But no, the confidence initially walking into that building is you're a piece of trash. Like, you're not going to make this team. You're over here to give our guys a look, and you're going to be out of here.
So then as you're around for a couple of years, and I'm sure you never felt like totally comfortable in the NFL, but as you are around for a couple of years and you start to, I got a little role in this team. I know who I am and I know what I do. And, I know where the bathroom is and I know where, like, all that stuff. Do you start to sense what the young guys, what's real and what's not in terms of confidence versus bravado?
I think you start to sense, yes, that's a good, what's real, but what's going to work for these guys? Yes, so some guys come in way too cocky, and you see him run, you see him play, you see him catch, you go, okay, that guy needs to chill a little bit. Like, he's not there yet. He needs to take a step back, learn a little more, and go from there. But the NFL humbles you. Salk, it does. I mean, the most confident I ever was, I never played a game after that.
How's that possible?
I had my best 4-game stretch with Jacksonville, 8 catches, 7 catches, blah, blah, blah. Go into the offseason, sign a new 2-year deal, get injured, done. No more games.
I mean, so injury obviously played a
but
role
also
in that.
new coaching staff, everything.
Yeah.
It's just, you're not their guy.
So that fits with what Mike said after it. So he was kind of asked about Clark and Neal being as aggressive they are, because they both talked about how much they want to hit. And then the confidence plays a role, but in this case, even more so the aggressiveness.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a balance, right? We want to train them the way we train our people and play within the system, but you can't coach the player out of the player. So I think that's going to come, again, you got to go through the process. You got to get a good feeling for the things that he's seeing and then that's why you practice, just, go make those decisive decisions in practice and then kind of go through the process that way and coach him up and go, kind of just one play at a time, but the thing you can't coach is his ability to go get it, so that you don't want to take that away from him.
When he says his ability to go get it, do you think he means the speed or the aggressiveness?
I think both, but again, confidence is all of that. Confidence is, let me see if I can word this correctly, is the ability not to think too much. It's just to trust what you put on, how good you are, and say, there's no delay. There's no thought process.
Right.
So as a DB, I'm picturing it. You go through your reads, you're going, that's what I see, I'm jumping it. I'm going. And there's not that, well, what if? What if I missed
And
this?
some of that confidence then has to come from, as he just said, practice and understanding and feeling like the game starts to slow down. On the aggressiveness side, though, I think you got to always take the more aggressive player. And I was talking to my daughter about this because she has hockey tryouts all this weekend, and it was a clear interference penalty, but she just drilled some poor kid in front of the net. Kid's in front of the net. Cecily skates halfway across the rink and just pummeled him. Kid's on the ground, and he gets up and is mad and tries to come back for a little revenge. And afterwards, she was like, yeah, is that interference? I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely interference. Like, that's a penalty. There's no doubt. She's like, oh, should I have not done it? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, if I'm a coach and I'm watching you do that in practice or a tryout, even in a game once, to me, I feel like I can teach you how to do that and not make it dirty. But I can't teach a kid or an adult even to fire and have the instinct to want to pummel someone. And so when I hear these guys talk this way, at the beginning, it's just talk. But if the film backs it up and then we start to see it in games, you can always back guys off. It's really hard to get someone like Reek Woolen to become a physical presence. It feels a whole lot easier to teach someone like this to know when to back off.
Yeah, and remember, these guys all are the studs of their college teams. Everyone who's a star of their college team is going to have big-time confidence, right? It's different. So now I think the tricky thing, especially for coaches, is getting the confidence out of these guys in the NFL. And you'll notice it right away. And you'll see them out at practice. You'll see, are they jumping around doing things they did in college like that? Like being over-aggressive and maybe taking a receiver out, right? I mean, okay, you don't want that to happen, but at the same time, you're kind of like...
But you don't not want it to happen.
Cool. Yeah, all right. I kind of like what we got here.
Because you can always dial it back. It's a whole lot harder to ramp it up. All right, that's Brian Walters in here today and tomorrow. It's going to be a fun week. We got a lot still left to go. Going to talk baseball with Shannon coming up in 20 minutes after we give you everything you need to know, including some of the confidence bordering on cockiness we heard from these draft picks. You'll hear it next.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Hey guys, Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. Still here helping men with ED and Peyronie's disease in 2026. Our clinics have helped thousands of men in the last 8 years just like you. Most guys tell me that in their early 50s, they started using Viagra. It worked for 3 or 4 years and then tapered off. That's because Viagra is not a curative medication. It's a short-term solution. Our wave therapy breaks down the plaque in the arteries and increases blood flow without using any medication, with proven long-lasting results. Our treatments are so successful that we have some men driving up to 5 hours just to get treated every week, and our 4.9 average star rating on Google proves it. So whether it's ED, Peyronie's disease, or low testosterone, West Coast Men's Health has the answers you're looking for.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy. Call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Upgrade your comfort and cut utility costs with Lake Washington Windows. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows and doors plus $1,000 off whole projects while taking 12 months to pay with no interest. Schedule your estimate by April 30th at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's refractive lens exchange. Now, Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, no contacts, readers, or cataracts. Now, if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You never develop a cataract. Now, if you're somebody like me that had a pair of readers in every room of the home, in your car, you had to bring them into the restaurant with you. Otherwise, like me, you couldn't read the menu. That is all been rectified thanks to RLE. So whether it's LASIK, EVO, ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to recommend what's best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Hey, did you hear about that multi-billion-dollar Roundup settlement?
Yeah, it impacts people who are exposed to weed killers at work or at home, even if you just used it in your own yard. Lawsuits claim it causes non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a blood cancer.
But we're not sick, so that doesn't affect us.
But it does. This cancer can take 10 to 15 years to show up.
That's a long time after exposure.
It is, and that's why the settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you get sick, even years from now, you could get $6,000 to $165,000 or more as part of this settlement.
So what's the catch?
If you stay in, you give up the right to sue them later.
Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 1-888-403-8201. If you or a loved one has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, even if they've passed, you must register for benefits. That's weedkillerclass.com. 1-888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Mariners and Twins tonight in Minneapolis. First pitch at 4:40, 3:30 pregame. Hear every pitch live for free on the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here to talk about a revolutionary treatment for prostate cancer. It's Swedish, called CyberKnife. I want to bring in Dr. Meyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center. Dr. Meyer, what makes Swedish CyberKnife so effective?
The CyberKnife allows us to target prostate cancer with better than a millimeter of accuracy. It adjusts for patient motion on the fly in real time, and it avoids giving radiation to other surrounding vital organs. Plus, the treatment can be done in just 5 quick sessions.
I understand it's the most technologically advanced treatment available.
Correct. Plus, the CyberKnife is more affordable, it's less invasive, and has minimal side effects compared to other treatments. Our research shows that after 10 years, more than 90% of patients are free from cancer progression.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnife-prostate or just give them a call, 206-320-7187.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks while protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, Seahawks certainly had some fun this weekend as they went through the draft and got busy. Bud Clark was their second-round pick, safety out of TCU. Certainly excited and excitable. He was asked about what position he could play.
I played safety, nickel, and corner before.
Did the Seahawks talk to you at all about what they envisioned for you in Mike McDonald's defense?
It's pretty much I can play multiple spots, but I'm leaving it up to them because I'm trying to play everything they want me to play. Really
smart guy. Like, hey, whatever, man. I'm the one who's getting drafted. Whatever they need, wherever there's room, however I can get out on the field, safety, nickel, and it does feel, because the same is true of Julian Neal. Like, it seems like these guys, and I'm not going to call them positionless, and it's not quite at the Nicky Manwari phase, but maybe more like Devin Witherspoon, where you could see them in a couple different roles, or Kobe Bryant.
I think the perfect label for it is they are Seahawk guys. They are Coach McDonald guys that he can work into his scheme, move them around, and maybe not so much Julian Neal. I feel like he's an outside corner.
Okay.
I don't think there's much versatility there. Just a big outside. Hopefully they'd be a lockdown corner, but Bud Clark, 100% will be that guy that he can move around, show different looks, be the Nick Manwari, be the Devin Witherspoon. And like I've said it, that he's almost a little bit of a hybrid between those two players.
Yeah.
Smaller than Manwari, but kind of that Swiss Army knife like Devin Witherspoon is.
Well, Julian Neal, who you mentioned is the outside guy, again, not lacking for confidence.
I'm the most physical corner in this draft class. I use my arms to my advantage. I use my left. I use my availability. Never gotten hurt. I've never missed a game in college from being hurt. I come down, I hit something. I'm going to go up and go get the ball. I'm getting interceptions. I'm pressing dudes at the line. I'm locking dudes up at the line. It's box time.
Who's he trying to convince? Like, you don't need to sell yourself, man. You've already been drafted.
Right. Man, they're excited. But I will say this. The tape supports everything he said. Maybe not the interception part. I think he only had 4 or something. But everything else, he is just what he said. He wants to come up and lay a boom on a running back. He throws blockers off and blows up screen plays. Yeah. He is the physical corner the Seahawks are looking for.
And it sure seems like you can see there some of the frustration that they had with Rick Woolen, evident in the guy they choose to maybe come in and replace him. Like, hey, man, if you want to be in this defense, you're going to have to set an edge. And Reek was never really comfortable doing that. You know, we got so many examples of it over the years. And so finally just like, look, enough. Like, bring in the right guy.
I feel like once Reek hurt his shoulder, he was never the same tackler after that.
It felt like he was always going to hurt his shoulder because it's just not that big.
Yep.
Like, he's just kind of light.
Just kind of light, lanky, fast.
Yeah.
And that was him. But this guy will be completely the opposite of Reek as far as aggressiveness.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Later, they went with a big guard out of Iowa in the 5th round, and then after that, it was mostly special teamers. I guess Emmanuel Henderson is an interesting one. He's a wide receiver out of Kansas, and I think immediately you're like, wait a minute, wide receiver? There really shouldn't be any need for a wide receiver after they spent $1 gajillion on it in the offseason. But they asked John, hey, is this some of a Derek Young replacement, especially on special teams?
Yes. I mean, Jay, this guy is an outstanding special teams player. Mike reminded me today, he's clocked at like 22.4, miles per hour. With football pads on, I'm not sure if you can run like that, Brady, or not. Pretty fast, yeah. Yeah, but no relation. That's awesome. But well played, sir. But no, it's just a ton of speed, and we were really excited to be able to get Jay. Spent so much time preparing for the draft, and it was so great to be able to get like one of his very top players he's excited about and fits.
Speed, huh? If you were to ask me going in, they'd draft a wide receiver, I'd say it's probably the least position. One position I'd say they're not going to draft. But they did it. They bring some competition in.
But I think the special teams element, again, has to be taken seriously. And in fact, they even asked this kid, Henderson, not Brady Henderson, Emmanuel Henderson, apparently no relation, on, was this part of the conversation? Maybe not just special teams, but even some running back.
Most definitely, special teams, a big part of my game, but besides with my wide receiver abilities, so that's a great combo for them to have.
You have some background as a running back as well.
Oh, yes, sir. Most definitely. Running back, I don't play multiple positions. This past season at Kansas, I play in the backfield some, so, wherever I get the ball in my hands, I feel like, they'll do a good job doing.
Did the Seahawks talk to you about a running back potential role?
Not really.
I was going to say. I would have been.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I would have. If we see him line up at running back this year, I don't know.
That'd be surprising.
Jump in a bucket of something nasty.
Wow.
Jeez. There's no chance. No chance to be a running back.
I'm trying to think about what kind of a bucket you might have.
I couldn't even think of it.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Mariners, nice win. Not just a win, a series sweep this weekend. Plenty of heroes. Obviously, it starts with 2, 3, and 4. Cal with a home run. Julio had 4 hits this weekend and a home run. Naylor had a home run, a really big day on Friday and Saturday. So, you start stacking those at-bats from the guys at the top. Obviously, that's huge. But you're not going to win a game, or at least win games over and over, just with your star players. That's why we've talked about the depth and completeness of this lineup, and obviously that came to play with the game winner on Saturday.
O'Brien comes set. Here's the pitch. Swung on line, drive, base hit, center field. J.P. Crawford scores. Here comes Mitch Garver. He's around third. The throw home cut off. Garver scores. The Mariners have taken the lead.
And they end up going on to win that one 9-7. Leo Rivas with a big moment.
Everybody in there's a Papa fan, and to see him come through there in that clutch, and when he came over after the pitching change, just to see the dugout sort of erupt on him, because they were just so pumped for him, and that's what this team's all about. They love each other, and knowing that Papa came through there, it just made everybody feel good.
Papa Rivas.
I think that's his nickname.
I like it.
Nice.
I'm here for it. Well, pretty good night for him, and nice weekend for the Mariners. They're now 14-15. They head to Minnesota for a 3-game set. Twins have lost 5 straight, so hopefully that can continue. Series win, and the Mariners finish April at 500. They'll be 16-16. Sweep them, be 17-15. and essentially right on track to do everything you'd hope to do this year. It's amazing how quickly things change in this sport.
Absolutely absurd. And most importantly, only a game and a half out of first place.
There you go. That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. All right, let's see. Yeah, the Reek thing, I just, we're going to talk some baseball with Shannon in a minute, but every time I hear that cut of Neil talking about how physical he is and hearing them talk about it, it's like, well, that's just exactly what Reek Woolen wasn't. And I think about Mike's frustration as he watched Reek Woolen take that stupid taunting penalty against the Rams and then get burned over the top on the next play. And just, some of the issues they had dealing with his head, not his body, because obviously physical freak, but just dealing with the head. Can I get him to be, aggressive and physical and set an edge? Can I get him to pay attention, play in, play out? It feels like they went after players that were specifically the opposite of that.
I think that 3 years in now, Coach McDonald, this defense is taking his personality. I think there were some guys, lingering guys, that were just there because they had to fill. And they're obviously fantastic athletes, some of the best in the league. But now he's starting to get his guys that he wants, guys that he's seen, guys that fit his mold. And you just are excited to see where this defense goes.
All right. Well, good stuff. We're talking to Brian Walters all morning long. He'll be in with us again tomorrow. And it's been mostly NFL draft today. And Daniel Jeremiah is going to join us tomorrow. So obviously as good a draft analyst as we could possibly have. And we'll get DJ's thoughts on everything the Seahawks did and kind of what comes next. But the Mariners are kind of sneaky, just as good a story today as they go out and surprise the world with a 3-game sweep in St. Louis, coming off the heels of a win right before they left. They've won 4 straight. Everything is golden now, right? Right? We'll ask Shannon next on Brock and Salk.
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Highlights don't win games. The full box score does. I'm Brock Ewart, and most business leaders aren't short on data. They're short on clarity. Numbers are scattered across ERP, CRMs, and spreadsheets, making decisions reactive instead of confident. And that's not how great businesses are built. Marquee IQ brings all your data together into one clear view, even if it lives in disconnected systems or offline, so you can see what's really happening and act faster. Stop running your business on highlights. Get the full picture. Visit datathatwins.com to see what Marquee IQ can do.
Unbelievable prices? Incredible performance? Bah! At Pacific Power Batteries, we strive to be believable. In fact, product knowledge and guidance in application gives us credibility. Having an informative website just adds to it. At Pacific Power Batteries, our prices and values are believable. We look for great people to hire and train carefully to be credible. Locally owned, credible company with believable salespeople is the best that we at Pacific Power Batteries can provide.
Hey, Mike Salk here with Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. And Doc, what do you say to people who are considering those GLP-1 injections for weight loss?
Before you start, ask yourself this. Are you prepared to spend $3,000 to $5,000 per year and stay on the medications long-term to maintain the results? Many prescription weight loss injections require weekly shots, and when the medication is stopped, weight gain is common. And most people don't realize research shows a significant portion of the weight lost can come from muscle, which may slow your metabolism and make keeping the weight off even harder.
From personal experience, I can tell you Eastside Weight Loss Clinic takes a different approach, a doctor-developed program helping people lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days.
No injections, no synthetic hormones, no long-term dependence. Instead, we use real food to reset your metabolism, control hunger, and cravings naturally.
So come to their clinic in Kirkland or do the program from anywhere you live with easy remote options. If you want a safe, affordable alternative to weight loss injections,
go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com to keep the weight off for good.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated video only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
The chartered plane to Queen Charlotte Lodge is on the runway, and you're not going to want to miss it. This summer has limited availability for king salmon, halibut, and lingcod fishing in beautiful Haida Gwaii, British Columbia. Queen Charlotte Lodge is absolutely the place to be. A luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, dad, or son. Book your stay at fishqcl.com, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience fishing first class. And remember, our dollar's worth $1.35 north of the border.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a super fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. But wait, there's more. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be switching to an American wireless company that's committed to keeping 100% of its customer service in this country. I appreciate that. In fact, that's why I switched. I also appreciate the way they support our vets and our skilled workforce. Dial pound 250, say micro, and get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. That's pound 250 micro. Stop paying twice what you need to pay for the service you want and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Oh, what a difference a week can make. As we sat here last week, it didn't feel right, man, right? You dropped 2 out of 3 in really those first 2 games against the A's, and things just didn't look right. They didn't feel right. And then all of a sudden you go out, you win that last one, you go out on the road and just find a way to win 3 games in 3 different styles against St. Louis, and everything just feels better in the world. Brian Walters in one more time to finish up today. And we'll go to Minnesota and talk to our Mariner insider, the great Shannon Drayer, of course. Hi, Shannon. Good morning.
Hello, guys.
So, how are we feeling today compared to, 5 or 6 days ago?
You're feeling like perhaps this is finally starting to get going offensively. And I think you can sense that around the club, too. There were some ups and downs and definitely some pretty big down moments. They didn't last too long, but there were a lot of guys that were looking around just thinking, what is going on? And I think that was a big part of the problem. It was a just collective struggle. Every individual was struggling, and that's that much harder to get out of when you don't have somebody that is at least helping keep you competitive. So I think a lot of work has gone in there. I think a lot of maybe taking a step back and taking a deep breath and relaxing a little bit at the plate has gone on, but it was good to see the reward in what we've seen on the road, and it really started in the homestand, I think. But I'd say, so far so good with what we have seen and what hopefully will draw the line and say has been the turnaround.
Well, so how much of that is Cal? And I guess I really should even say Cal, Julio, and Naylor, but specifically Cal. I mean, he was such the difference last year between maybe where the team was expected to be and where they ended up being. And he gets off to a bit of a slow start. Now all of a sudden 6 home runs. How big a difference does Cal make to that?
Well, I think he gives them, he gives them a lot of their swagger to have that guy in the middle of the lineup that can do that at any time. And he's also the threat in the lineup to the opposing pitcher. So that's huge. And not only was he slow to get going, and I'll contend, I think the WBC had everything to do with this, especially with Cal. But the pitchers and the other teams could see that on the other side. They could see that, his timing was not right. They could see that he was swinging at pitches that he didn't swing at a year ago. They could see that he was struggling to get to where he needed to be. And so that gives them a little bit of a chance to take a little bit of a breath and easily attack him and take out what was the big threat in this order. So the fact that he has been able to get to where he needs to be, and you see it in the at-bats, you see it in his pitch selection, you see it in that he is finally squaring up baseballs, I think is huge. That's a huge part of their lineup. But I think, even bigger is what you have seen both Cal and Naylor do together since the start of the last homestand. And I think at that point, then you have a presence in a part of your order, and you're not just looking at one hitter.
Shannon, I thought last night was the absolute perfect example of how ABS should be used and why they incorporate it into the game. What Ref Snyder did, he obviously struck out, boom, challenge, and then knocks it over the left field wall. Can you talk about kind of the freedom that Dan Wilson gives his players to use the ABS?
Yeah, he's giving them a lot of a lot of freedom. The only thing he really doesn't want is he doesn't want most of the pitchers to be calling it from the mound. They've got the worst vision of this entire thing, so he just prefer it be the catchers. And then with the hitters, everybody has got, I don't want to say free reign. They impress on them situations and when it's not a good idea and when you might be wasting a challenge. But they do want to use them. They do want to be aggressive with them, but you also have to be smart. So they give them the parameters in that situation. And I don't believe Ref Snyder had made a challenge before. I think that was so obvious that he was able to do that quickly in that situation. And I agree with you. I think that's what ABS was supposed to be about. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with it, because baseball over the last 10 years, they've instituted a lot of changes, but they also haven't been shy to, if they don't quite have it right, make an adjustment, even in season, to something. I think that's going to happen, but perhaps next year we see it a little bit different. And talking with a bunch of the players on both, hitters and a pitcher's perspective, they don't really like it when it's a nitpicky, when it's just, an nth of an inch off of the plate. They don't quite think that is in the spirit of what it is supposed to be all about. So I'm really curious to see if we do. And Mike, I know that this is something that you haven't liked about it. And I can tell you, I think the players agree with you on this,
rare.
Which is
there's a first time for everything,
goes.
Shannon.
We will see where that goes.
No, I do feel strongly about it, though. I'm glad to hear you say that. Yes, my ears obviously perked up, and I got excited for somebody to agree with me. But the Ref Snyder call was 6 inches outside.
Awful.
I mean, that is exactly why this is necessary. You need to overturn a call that is missed by that much, and it literally changed the outcome of the game. And might have changed the outcome of Rob Ref Snyder's week, and who knows what happens from there. But they're right. They're like, it just kind of nicked, or just barely. Come on, that just doesn't. Who cares? Just give me a gray area, a half inch on either side, and say if it's in there, the call stands. Nobody could be reasonably expected to get that right or wrong, and just move on. I think that'd be totally fine.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we see eventually, just because of the history. They do want to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that is just a little bit too much. And, they listen to the players, they listen to the fans, and they want to do what's best for the game. And I don't think one of the biggest things that I've said is I don't want the conversation after most games to be about ABS.
Right.
I still want it to be about the baseball. But the conversation after this game might very well have been that miss. And we don't want that either. So I'm on board now. I wasn't. I'm all about absolutes. So I liked, okay, no, it's a strike. It should be a strike. But in talking to the players, ultimately, I want what they want. It's their game. And so I was a little bit surprised to hear that. But I think that's great. I think that's great for the health of the game. And I think it also speaks to the relationship with the umpires and the respect that they have for them. We see all the bad calls and we see all the videos on social media and whatnot about the bad calls. But you have to remember that 99% of the time, it's something else. And they don't get recognition for just doing what they're supposed to do, which is very, very hard. And there is a level of respect for that.
Julio Rodriguez, as we sit here with 3 games left to go in April before we'll turn over the calendar, he's hitting .250 with 2 home runs. I don't know whether that fully tells the story of Julio this year. He's got an OPS still of just .664, and yet I watch Julio over the last couple of weeks and think, man, this might be the best start to a season I can remember from him.
Yeah, and you know what? I think the key that you're saying there is start to the season. And sometimes, and just we're seeing it in June. Sometimes we're seeing it in May. I mean, he starts the season, obviously, but the bat doesn't get going for some time. And you look at those numbers and you're like, okay, well, where's the power? You want to see the power next. And it's often a good progression, but a good progression that perhaps needs a little bit of a push. We've seen him with a high average and the low slug before, and he's in that order to slug a little bit more. But, if he has the high average and the eye is there and he is seeing pitches, it's like, okay, Julio, it's time to start turning on some of those pitches. If you're getting into the good counts, let's do some damage. Let's not just flip it the other way. You know what the approach is, but you're the kind of player that can take that to the next step, and the power comes when you're doing everything right and whatnot. So you look at all that, and you hope that that is going to be leading to what we have seen in the past, and you hope it's not too prolonged. It's great that he's getting on base. You want him to do some damage, and we are still seeing you see a little bit of a struggle for him to get the ball in the air. You want him to hit the ball in the air. But I do think you're right. I do think that this is a better start to the season for him, and this is the progression that we saw from him last year. If he can get to that place where he's doing more damage a little bit quicker, all the better.
I always expect 17 hits in a row now ever since Julio did that. What was that, a couple years ago? That's kind of the expectation I always have for Julio. But, no, it is good to see him get to a better start than usual. And, Shannon, I want to go to the Bryce Miller camp a little bit. And any word from his progress down in his rehab assignments? And what do you think this rotation is going to look like when he is finally put back in the lineup?
I'm going to give you the stock answer on that. I mean, the rotation, I don't know what it's going to be. And I think the big question is who is out when that happens. And 9 out of 10 times, something happens to make that decision. But, you look at what the health of the rotation has been prior to last year, and there's a decent chance that maybe it won't be. So maybe that does become a little bit more of a difficult situation. And I think it's easiest to say last up, first down, which could be the situation. We'll see. But what we are hearing about Bryce Miller and what we saw in spring training and saw early from him, and I'll go ahead and take it all the way back to the playoffs last year. I mean, he had a miserable season with injuries, with trying to pitch when he wasn't 100% right, when trying to pitch when he had, he just hadn't had a normal season because he was dealing what he was dealing with. It's not easy to pitch through. Yeah, maybe you don't need to go on the IL, but that doesn't mean you're still going to be you when you get out there, and then you have the stops and the starts. But when they got to the postseason, when they desperately needed him, and he was kind of the last option to go to after the 15-inning game, he came through in spades. And, the stuff that he has and that we have seen from time to time, he could be very, very special. And that's what it looked like in spring training before he got hurt. And so to hear and to see in the bullpens before we left spring training, we saw that stuff. We saw the velocity. We saw the break on the breaking pitches in Arizona. And then to now be hearing kind of the same thing from particularly his last rehab start, you get excited about what could be his season this year. And I'll just go ahead and just repeat again, I was very intrigued coming into this season. thinking that, he had the chance to do something special. He's missed too much time to be in the running for anything. Well, that doesn't matter. What he'll be in the running for is to help this team get to where they want to be. So I'm excited to see what he is. And I do like the way that they brought him back. And it's, his problems haven't been something has hurt after a start. It's just taken a little bit longer to rebound. So, okay, let's just go ahead and stop and let's pull back, and there is no rush with this thing. So I really hope that will pay off once he does get started, because he can do some things.
In the meantime, I think we're deep enough into this that I'm willing to say that Emerson Hancock is for real. I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to say that what we've seen is legitimate. It's real. He's done it now through enough starts. So what does that do for his future and or the future? I mean, he's done he won't pitch again in April. So the next time he takes the mound is going to be May. We're over a month in. Has he cemented a spot in the rotation? How do you look at this?
If all things were equal, I would say yes, but Bryce Miller is coming back. So I will say I don't know. I don't know how you handle that. He has, I think, always, his fellow rotation mates have looked at him as a fellow starter for the past year. Like, you don't say the rotation in Emerson. Emerson was part of that even when he wasn't with the club.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that rather than looking at him a year ago and if he had a good outing, I think the chances were, well, there might be a fall. I think he is to the point where he has a base where I think he can keep improving a little bit. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to improve on his ERA. That's going to even out a little bit more. He has had a very good start, but he is still learning how to use his stuff. And I think he's still got some tricks up his sleeve. I think he is still intrigued about some things that he can do on the mound that he was doing, on those few relief appearances that we saw. He is a little bit of a tinkerer, along the lines of a Logan Gilbert and pretty much any of the other starters not named Luis Castillo in that rotation. But he's being very careful with it, not trying to do too much right now. He's in a good place. And what does that look like as he goes forward? Never mind where it's at, if he's in the rotation or not. He's not going to be coming out of the pen. But if he's in the rotation in Seattle or somewhere else, I think he is still continuing to develop. And I think that is a good thing. He's just, he has shown that he can maintain velocity through a start. He has shown that he can put up 6 innings fairly easily. I think that is a very, very valuable thing. And I think he can probably up that a little bit more from where he is and how he uses his stuff and how he continues to get experience at this level.
It's pretty crazy. He leads the starters in ERA. He leads the rotation in WHIP. Now, some of that got a little screwy with just a rough outing for Brian Wu, but still leads the team in both of those categories among starters. Is third in strikeouts per 9. He's pitching deep into games. As you said, he's pitched more innings than Logan Gilbert has this year. It's really hard for me to look at this and say, all right, there's not room for him. I know that baseball has a way of working these things out, but would you have any thought about, what this could mean for Luis? Is there a bullpen role for him? Is there a little phantom, elbow hurts a little bit IL? What are your options?
Yeah, I think I've said 3 things to stay away from that completely. And we're going back.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a difficult spot that obviously they get into. So, all right, now to Minnesota. What to expect next, Shannon?
Yeah, they're coming up on a team that's in a world of hurt right now, and you hope that they can continue to do what they've done on the road. And if they do, it's hard to believe that they could be looking at a winning month. They could be looking. I'd be happy with a 500 month after what you saw at the start. So just looking for them to continue on what they are doing at the plate. And since the start of the last homestand, they've been hitting as an order 284, and their slug is up to 471, which is 6th in that time. And their strikeout rate is down to 21%, and just huge. I'd like to continue to see one thing that we haven't talked about, and that this has been huge also over that time period, is you are starting to get things from the bench. They didn't have their first pinch hit since until the 22nd of April. And now you saw how big Connor Joe, Dom Canzone in the pinch hitting role, Rob Refsnyder have come up in the past week and since the start of the homestand. That's huge for the lineup. So you look for that to continue. You're hoping that you see some struggles that you have seen start to come around. While the top of the lineup all of a sudden is taking off, all of a sudden some other players that had been hot have fallen off in that time. Luke Rayleigh's had a rough go of it. Probably partly because there's no consistency to what he is doing. I think he needs more at-bats. Randy Arozarena has fallen off. You want to see him get going a little bit more. As we mentioned, we want to see Julio get the ball in the air a little bit more and get more into that slug. And as far as the pitching goes in this series, it will be interesting. I think Castillo's start will be interesting. If we see it today, it is gray and rainy right now, and we'll have to see what happens there. But you need to see him, his history is that he will have these bumps for the last 3 or 4 games. You need to see him pull out of it. It's time to pull out of it a little bit more right now and just be who he is. You're not asking him to be too much more. You mentioned the Phantom IL. I haven't seen anything wrong, but maybe you start looking in that direction. But you want to see him start to look a little bit more like himself. But they are set up to really take advantage of this series. They do have a lefty on the hill against them tonight. I'd like to see him take some steps forward, but they have a real opportunity in front of them as far as wins and losses go these next 3 games.
Well, it's sure a lot more fun watching wins as opposed to watching losses. And this weekend was fun. 3 really interesting, different types of games. And Shannon, always appreciate you. Thank you for joining us from beautiful Minneapolis. You said a little rain tonight. We have any fear of tonight's game in jeopardy?
I think we might have a little bit of fear.
A little bit of fear. Okay. Well, I don't like that, but I appreciate it.
The afternoon guys are really hoping, or they're really kind of a little anxious about it right now.
Well, tarp action out there. I will be anxiously awaiting Shannon's tarp tweets. And
you know what? I can do that right now because I can see the stadium from my room.
Oh,
and the tarp is definitely on the field right now.
All right, give me a good tarp tweet, Shannon. That you know how much we appreciate those. Talk soon. See
you.
Thanks, Shannon. There you go. The great Shannon Drayer, our Mariners insider, of course at SeattleSports.com as well. And yeah, just a really nice turnaround. I am excited, Lyle, about the Emerson Hancock thing. I think it's real. This last start was the one. Like, okay, here we go. I don't know what was going on with his hand. Did we ever find out why his hand was all bloody or whatever during the game on was that Friday? Did we ever find out what happened?
You mean yesterday?
Yesterday. Yes, yesterday.
What happened? Just assuming it was a blister.
Okay. I don't like those, but whatever. Like, all right, I'm in. It's real. Now what?
I mean, I've stood pretty firm pat on this. I know Shannon didn't want to say it, but I think Luis is either getting Phantom IL'd or they're going to have to move him out of the rotation if something doesn't change. My guess is, yeah, Phantom IL. It's a little early to just not have him start anymore.
I tend to agree with that. And it's not like you can just send him down. As crazy as it sounds, like I do think there's a chance that they just send down Emerson Hancock. I don't know what you do. Like, so Bryce
that would be pretty crazy to me if they did that.
I know. I mean, I just gave you some of those numbers, leading the starters in ERA, leading the rotation in WHIP. Like, it's pretty real. Like, and he's going deep enough into games, but he's got options, whereas obviously Luis does not. So you can send him down and bring him back soon. I don't think they're going to go to a 6-man rotation. Why would you possibly want more distance between Brian Wu starts? Like, I want him out there every 5 days, not every 6. Same with the way Kirby's going, right? Like, I don't want to make these guys wait longer. So, and I don't think you want to be one short in your bullpen. So, I don't know. My gut, I think you can try to send him down. But if you do, I think you got to ask Brock's age-old question of, are you trying to fool the locker room? What does the locker room think, in this case the clubhouse, when you send down the guy who's been arguably their best pitcher so far? Like, you don't want to do that. You're trying to win the World Series this year. Every game counts.
Also, then he's out of options if you do that. Say he stays with the big league club all year.
He has options next year at that point.
He has one option left.
Right.
So say you were to be good enough to stay with the big league club all year. Maybe there's an option down the road you need him for at some point. I hope not. I hope he's just in the big leagues the rest of the time, but
there is some value to that.
Like, he's out of options, and then that makes his roster spot trickier and trickier as time goes on.
As time goes on. Yeah, that's well said, Lyle. That's another point. Yes, at that point he becomes out of options. So just so people know, if you send him down, he still has options left for this year. Options only count for one season. It's a weird way they describe it. But when they talk about a player having options, it's not how many times they've been sent down. It's in how many years they've been sent down. I know that sounds dumb, but just sort of the way baseball's rules work. So you could send him down and still have him go up and down over the course of this season, but you would take that away then for the future. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a full day.
How about that?
You made it all the way through.
Made
Brian.
it.
How was it?
To do it again tomorrow.
We didn't even talk about Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini.
We got tomorrow. I like that.
Okay.
I like it.
He hasn't resigned
That'll
yet,
be fun.
Maura.
You think he's going to?
That's my bet.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You think he's coming back? It's not going to be a
I
problem?
think he just disappears for a while and
Yeah.
pretends like nothing happened.
Agreed. We won't hear a lot from him at all this offseason.
All right. You guys could be right. I don't feel like I'm not throwing money on this or anything.
No.
I'm not.
It'll be fun, though.
I'm not jumping on Poly Market.
I'm sure it's on there.
Probably is.
Yeah.
Especially, this is a poly kind of story, from what I understand. Mike Vrabel, poly women, many women. Poly means many.
Okay, we're done.
Okay.
Actually, the new Seahawks guard, Bo Stevens, said his coach told him that there's always more hay in the barn or something like that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Right?
The hay's never
You have
in
to
the
change
barn.
your ending?
Well, he's just wrong.
Look on that
No.
one. He was...
They should just cut this guy now. He obviously doesn't know what he's talking about. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Daniel Jeremiah will join us, as will Brian Walters. Once again, thanks, buddy. You know where the hay is?
I think it's in the barn.
You're absolutely right.
Or is it not?
See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
You can stream every pitch of every inning of every game all season long. Oh, and it's completely free.
It's a tremendous catch.
Only on the Seattle Sports app. That's right. The free Seattle Sports app puts every single Mariners game right in the palm of your hand.
On a platter, come and get it.
One app, every game. Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
Holy smokes, what a play.
Pretty awesome, right? Just like the Mariners.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 25% off windows and doors or 12 months, no payments, and no interest. And we're giving back with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber the Door Store. One of our most popular services is our match-up service, where we use your old door as a template to create a new door in your existing frame. Whether you need an interior or exterior door, this is a great way to change out your doors DIY style. And as long as we have what you need in stock, we currently have available space without a long wait for our same-day match-up service. Please visit us in Shoreline, where there's plenty of good parking. Also, check us out online at franklumber.com.
Dave Wyman here to talk about a revolutionary treatment for prostate cancer at Swedish called CyberKnife. I want to bring in Dr. Meyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center with the most experienced prostate cancer treatment team in the Northwest. Dr. Meyer, is CyberKnife a new treatment?
You know, the CyberKnife technology is not new. The system has been around for more than a decade and has helped thousands of men with prostate cancer.
What can patients expect from CyberKnife treatment?
Well, the CyberKnife system is designed to help you gain control over your prostate cancer in the shortest number of treatments, and with the least impact on your romantic life and on your urinary and bowel function. The result? Well, you get back to a normal, healthy life faster.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or give them a call, 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
CyberKnife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. We're here to help you achieve total wellness at home. Right now, save up to $2,800 on a saltwater hot spring spa for fabulous healthy soaks. Or save up to $12,000 on an endless pool swim spa and turn your backyard into a year-round swim oasis. These massive savings end April 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you.